John Frost looked on the gathered crowd, now 3,000 strong. With heavy heart, his voice rang loud as he sang this loveless song. God is a guide from field, from wave, from plough, from anvil, and from loom. We come our country's rights to save and speak a tyrant faction's doom. We raise the watchword liberty. We will be free. For when the rising tide is turned in every London quarter, Parliament comes crashing down with Robert's Rules of Order. And bobbies took an oath to be our nation's warders, swearing that they would enforce Sir Robert's Rules of Order. Till Newport rose a million friends who rallied each supporter to join this flood of working men against Robert's Rules of Order. For when the rising tide is turned in every London quarter, Parliament comes crashing down with Robert's Rules of Order. Like this, on the steps of Parliament, John Frost stood proud and tall. A hush fell on this great event as he told them one and all, depose the gentry and the crown, depose the House of Lords, or join the Queen in exile by Robert's Rules of Order. So Chartists, Luddites, Communists, recall each faithful martyr who died so you could have your new world Robert's Rules of Order. Say it loud, vote your favor, shout it high. All in favor, you say aye. Favor, aye, favor, aye. A mandate of the people's cry. Favor, aye, favor, aye. Let's hear the opposition side. Like a stubborn donkey's bray. All opposed, you say nay. Opposed, opposed. The motion carries anyway. Currents change and bring to us our tear-corrupted warder. In chains subdued and ill-abused, he's left with no supporters. Mobility's will can then proceed by our own rules of order. And we'll all cheer for country's sake when Robert's drawn in quarter. For when the rising tide is turned in every London quarter, Parliament shall be reborn with Robert's Rules of Order.
What?
I'm just making sure.
It's like, what? Hi. What?
You want to know something? Okay. All right, here we go. Wista.
Because today is July 4th, we must do a tribute to the three presidents who died this day.
3 presidents died today.
Yes.
Who?
Adams, Jefferson, and Monroe.
I don't know nothing about stuff like that. You know, what, in the war?
No, they died on July 4th.
They did?
Yes.
Oh, well, they didn't all live concurrently. What a dumbass I am.
Yes, they did, actually. Well, they did.
Not all of them.
Yeah, they did.
All of them they did?
Yeah.
Then maybe I'm not a dumbass. Maybe I'm a dumbass for thinking I'm a dumbass.
All 3 of them signed the Declaration of Independence.
Monroe?
Yes.
Why did I think Monroe was later?
He was the 5th president.
So, what were the names again?
Jefferson.
Okay.
Adams.
Well, I knew those 2 lived together, but Monroe?
And Monroe.
I thought Monroe was like way later.
No.
You can tell how nationalist.
Washington, Adams, Jefferson,
okay, listen,
Madison,
I'm going to tell you something. Everything I know about
Quincy Adams.
Everything I know about early American history, I learned from Hamilton.
Well, that's your first mistake.
That is such a good play.
That's your first mistake.
Not going to throw away my shot. Everything I know about the American Revolution, I learned from Hamilton.
Hamilton was a terrible drinker. He couldn't handle the shots.
No, but I'm talking about the play. You know anything about the play?
No, I refuse to see the play.
I didn't see the play.
Hamilton is not on my friends list.
I did, but the music is great. It's a great musical. Yeah. So Dave Davis says okay, and he's and Mike's saying it's
ironically enough, July 4th, 1826, the 50th anniversary of the document they both signed.
Interesting.
Oh, it's one of those goofy quirks of history. And Monroe was a few years later, but still.
But also on the 4th of July. You said?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing with your finger?
Scratching an itch.
Oh, you're driving me crazy.
I have an itchy finger. Insert joke here.
I'm just zipping it. We're barely 5 minutes into it. All right, let's see. Okay, so you weren't at the meeting last night.
I was not.
It was a very good meeting.
I was at the Maya balls and dust balls and
you were up to your balls crap. And balls. I got it.
And mouse crap.
The meeting was really good.
Okay.
JJ was there. Richard Brown was there. And, we got a lot done. And no question. Look, you're so uncurious.
I figure it this way. If something blew up, I'd have found out about it later.
Nothing blew up. You're watching the NDA discussion,
yeah.
Which I'm about done with. Not because it's not important and not out of any disrespect to the participants. It's giving me a headache.
Sure. They're in the weeds on it, and it's like...
And I don't know if you can get out of the weeds on an NDA.
It's hard to. It really is.
1831, Wikipedia.
5 years later, yeah.
I like Martin's first motion that just basically puts the obligation that unless it's something that's already covered by our... And the more I'm debating it, I'm starting to think none of these motions are correct. Like, I'm beginning to be that the... I know people aren't going to like me for this, but I'm thinking of making it simple and just say that every LNC member needs to sign a statement to the effect of things that are, if you keep doing that, I'm going to murder you. That's what the LNC needs to sign. We will murder Mike Seebeck.
At 2:00, yes.
Yes, at 2, promptly. I think the LNC just needs to sign something to the fact that things that are disclosed under the categories that qualify for executive session shall stay secret.
Bylaws, yeah.
Period. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Is that let me ask you this. Is that something that...
Because I don't think we can keep things secret that aren't covered by those categories.
Obviously, it would be something that would go in the policy manual because it's not you can't amend the bylaws or anything like that.
It's in the bylaws already.
Right.
So.
But the question is this something that would need to be run past Oliver Hall or whoever the heck is
I don't
the general
think
counsel now?
Any of them have...
Because it's the nature of a legal thing?
No, because I don't think Oliver has any say over our bylaws.
No, I understand that, but... I would think you would have a little of understanding how to construct an
I don't think
properly.
No, I don't. No, you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying get rid of the NDA.
Oh, you're saying get rid of it. Okay.
Get rid of it and just have it be like an oath of office that things that are covered under the categories that qualify for executive session under the bylaws will be kept confidential. Done.
An oath of office to represent the party and follow the bylaws.
Yeah.
Well, that's a radically beautiful concept.
I think that's what I'm going to propose, and that the only thing anyone should ever have to sign an NDA for is the CRM. And we have a CRM NDA that's already been approved by the LNC. That's in the policy manual.
Right.
This is a separate NDA, and I know I got things disclosed to me. Mm-hmm. I was just reading.
I'm leaning around my drink over here so I can read too.
Back in 2016 with the Gary Johnson internal secret contract thing, I wouldn't sign the NDA at that time.
I remember that.
And they still sent it to me because I said, my yes is yes and my no is no. Mm-hmm. I don't need to sign a document. Right. I kind of was taking the Star Child approach. Star Child never would sign the NDA either. But he did get lucked out of things. Not many. People are making and I know it's new LNC members, so again, what I'm saying is not intended to be critical. But
they're still feeling it out.
Something I'm really realizing, and I'm actually enjoying it, is procedurally wise and operationally wise, but more procedurally wise, we have a really green LNC. Like some really basic things, they just don't know how to do yet.
Right.
So to them, everything is huge, but it turns out after being on the LNC for like 6 years, the NDA never comes up again. It just does. Now watch, when I say this term is going to be the term of the NDA. But in my other time, except for that Gary Johnson thing in which I refused to sign the NDA is a non-issue. It's a non-issue unless you're planning on.
Which means some people are going to start kvetching about it and make it not a non-issue.
Yeah, but
just watch. It's going to happen.
I think the next motion, I'm thinking about it. The next motion I think I'm going to make is basically fuck the NDA. Let's just sign an oath of office.
Well, we just got demonetized.
Well, we would have been anyway. Plus, are we 10 minutes in yet?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, 10 minutes in, you can cuss.
Oh, okay. So you just...
I cussed at the 10-minute mark.
You're on the edge.
I have a
You are
good
on the
instinct for when I can cuss. This is sangria, so hopefully I don't get as trashed as normal.
I'll drink to that.
And Richard says, be careful and have Oliver Hall's input. Yeah, but... Okay, Richard, you know I'm going to be going by libertarian principles more than legal principles. And I'm a paralegal. It's just... This has gotten way too complicated. I understand Donovan's concerns. I understand Martin's concerns. I want to just keep it simple.
I just want to make sure it's right, whatever it is, just to minimize issues later down the road, especially when the JC is concerned.
Well, I'm not talking to you about the JC.
No, I know.
So,
I know. But as a member of that committee, that's my vested interest, to minimize our problems.
Yeah.
And I'll admit that up front.
You guys need to elect a chair. I wrote Rob Latham about that yesterday.
We're actually in a holding pattern right now.
Yeah, I know potentially why.
We have time to get our rules straightened out.
But you kind of need a chair because, I don't know, what if a member has a question on how to submit a petition? They just don't know who to write to. You guys need a chair. Even if it's an interim chair, you need a chair. You can't be operating as a committee without a chair.
The JC at lp.org email is up and running for everybody.
But you need a chair.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a little bit of a de facto role at the moment. I've been kind of the one interfacing with you guys, but that's been very minimal. So, but beyond that, I mean, that's not really a chair thing. That's just I just jumped into this role.
Well, I hope you guys elect a chair soon.
Yeah.
I don't know why my hair is all weird, but okay. My part never wants to be straight.
Did you get it re-dyed?
No, but I did get it cut.
I can see that.
I like the cut. I like it off my shoulders.
Yeah, but it's like it goes like like right here.
Okay, you don't say that to women, Mike. That is just rude.
With my hair as uneven
No,
as it
it's because it's not curled right now. But you don't go, oh, you got a shitty haircut. Oh, my God.
I'm a guy. We talk about shitty haircuts all the time because we live them.
No, I didn't style it, and the part is crooked. That's why, like, the layers aren't falling right. But I'm happy with it. So, fuck you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hit
her a comb.
But I can't see here, so let me just stop trying. I can't do it. Fuck it. I don't care. It's good.
I can work that too.
No, it's good. It's good. I'm fine. All right, let's what's that? Oh no, I don't like those.
It's a mirror.
I know. I have that up. I don't like it. All righty. So yeah, so we punted the secret discussion. Well, the discussion wasn't secret. The discussion about what we're going to sign for secret shit. And
you didn't sign off on what you're going to sign off on.
We didn't do well.
Yeah.
I signed the first NDA. I personally don't have a problem with it, but I understand why Martin does.
Yeah.
But the only reason I don't have a problem with it because I know what a non-issue this is.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a no.
But the new people don't know that. So
I mean, just to rehash, what's covered for confidentiality? Employee salaries and that type of stuff, right?
Employee salaries shouldn't be. They're public on the FEC site.
Litigation issues.
Yes.
And what else?
It's political strategy regarding confidentiality.
Right.
Personnel, which we've always taken
which goes back to what I was talking about, yeah.
But not personnel salary, because you can... Okay, personnel salary has always been confidential. Right. I don't agree it should be, because anyone can go to the FEC site and figure it out.
Yeah, and to be honest, what difference does it make?
And you're spending the party's money. When you're spending the party's money, I think eventually it needs... I don't mind having it that the salary gets released after the employee's no longer there. I don't know. We need something where it's not...
that, but you can probably extrapolate it pretty easily.
You can.
Except for the FEC stuff. Plus, there's probably a thing on salary.com about political party employee or some type of category.
You can.
Like that.
It takes a little work, but you can figure it out from the FEC. Why make party members do work?
Right.
If they can find it out anyway, just let them know.
Yeah.
But we've always taken personnel matters to also mean issues with employees
Sure.
and issues with volunteers. We put volunteers under personnel, even though they're not paid. And I think that's the right thing to do. You don't talk about discipline.
Air the dirty laundry.
Right. And what else? There's one other thing there.
Well, you mentioned the political strategy thing.
I had political strategy, personnel, and legal. Those three. That's it.
Yeah.
So why do we need an NDA? The only thing we need an NDA for is a CRM. And the CRM is already, we have a separate NDA for
I mean,
that.
if you just did an NDA to say, I acknowledge what the bylaw says to be confidential.
Yeah.
One sentence, have a nice
I'm
day.
starting a new email thread, I think, on this, and just ending it. The discussion's really getting into the weeds, and
Yeah.
and everyone has good points.
Yeah. It's a good discussion, but it's like, oh boy, this could get bad in a hurry.
So we also did my mega motions on minutes.
Mega motion on minutes?
Yeah, so there was a bunch of minutes that needed to be amended that passed.
All the backlog stuff.
Yes, a bunch of minutes that needed to be substituted because they were beyond amendment, and that passed. And then a fresh set that needed to be, those all passed.
And the convention minutes themselves are coming along rather well.
Yep, got one more day to do.
Yep, so...
And that's why I'm not just wearing the corset because it's pretty. Okay, this is my space one. Gotta admit, that's cool. But doing minutes...
You need a laser gun or a utility belt.
I do. But doing minutes, I tend to slouch. So I've been like this for like 20 hours, and my back, I have to now force my back into shape. So I'm not wearing this really for fashion statement. I'm wearing it medically, actually, to force my back. But it's cool looking.
I'm chuckling, even though I know you're serious.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely serious. I mean, I like this corset, but I figured if I have to wear ones for my back, I'm going to buy sexy ones. Why have those ugly, nasty...
Forgive me for being a guy from them. Well, those look good on you.
Yeah, no, listen, I show it for people to look.
It accentuates the curves.
Yeah,
and I'm saying that as a guy, even though I'm happily married.
And your wife's right
upstairs.
there.
Yeah, I can say that and get away with it because,
but
she would agree with me.
Yeah, my back is just absolutely
she wears corsets periodically too. So.
Yeah, I've got a whole collection of them. I need some more though. But anyway, so what else happened? And it was funny. I don't care. I'll say this on this show. A certain former LNC member's like, she just made that motion to, soothe my ego? No, I made that motion because those minutes were not good, and anyone who voted to approve them should feel bad.
Well, let's see. Former female LNC member.
I didn't say female.
You said she.
Oh, well, that doesn't mean, well, whatever.
That means I can get about 4 guesses.
Okay, don't guess.
5 guesses.
Because I would have said the name if I wanted to.
Yeah, I can guess as one of 5 different people. So.
But it's just silly. Like, you people voted to approve those minutes. I'm not blaming the author of the minutes.
No.
I'm blaming those of you, those 16 of you that had an opportunity
to get it right,
to correct this person. Everyone makes mistakes. Nobody, well, you guys will probably expect me as secretary to be perfect.
Gene, I haven't shaved this lately. I'm letting it go until a certain thing happens.
Yeah.
And I should probably mention that.
What?
Because I don't know if you've heard.
What?
I'm changing jobs.
Oh, no, Wayne told me.
Yeah.
Wayne doesn't keep no secrets from me.
Yeah, I got a...
Wayne didn't sign an NDA with me.
No, damn it, all. Anyway, that's what NDA stands for. No, damn it, all. No, seriously, what's happening is that a company came to me. They called me, and they have offered me a position which is a career promotion and a decent raise in the middle of all this crazy recession. And it's a company I've been trying to get to for quite a long time. So how could I say no? Plus, the place I'm at now, there's some other issues going on I'm not going to talk about here, but things are getting a little stale and a little bit not good. So it was time to make the jump. And I'm going through the process right now, getting it all put together and going through and getting their steps to come on board. And did the drug test the pee in the cup thing the other day.
Yeah, and you're terrible libertarian. You passed.
I'm terrible at what?
I always say I'm a terrible libertarian. I can pass a drug test.
Yeah. Well, my world, I have to, but
I know.
No big deal. So it's slowly happening. In between that and losing the dog this past week and other dental chaos with the wife, it's been a nutball week. And I'm glad for the 3-day weekend just to,
And
be able to just take a step back and chillax a little bit and do things
I'm
like
interviewing too for jobs, but I'll still be doing my live streams. It'll just be busier than normal.
I hope you land one of them as quickly and as good of a fit as possible.
Well, I need some medical stuff, and I want to get one where I can get Wayne on the plan because he needs some medical stuff. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see. Let's see what else. So what else passed is we deleted the policy manual limitation on the number of committees that LNC members can serve on. Mm-hmm. It just had unintended consequences.
Right.
It was a good idea.
Yeah, you've gone over that a lot in the past. Yeah.
And the social media policy, which was a nightmare.
That one people were complaining about separately. But so explain better, please.
Okay, for one thing, it went from page 74 to 91.
Oh my God, 17 pages?
Yes.
That's not a social media policy. That's a novella.
Right, and most of it had to do with mechanics, like how do I moderate posts? Not what's the criteria for moderating posts. Like literally, how do I do it?
It was process, not context.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't policy. So, and a social media policy doesn't belong in the LNC policy manual.
No.
It belongs in the volunteer guidelines for the people that do that. Most of us have nothing to do with that. So that got deleted. So we just trimmed 17 pages off of the policy manual.
Do you guys have process manuals for staff?
Yes.
Okay, that's where it belongs.
Yeah, that's where it belongs. Not enough. But yes, and it's kind of like what I put out for the regional formation manual and things like that. We need sub stuff for things like that. It doesn't all belong in the policy manual. It's policy manual bloat. I'm not a policy manual minimalist, but I do think you should only put in there what belongs in there.
Sure. In a lot of places they have a thing called a P&P, policies and process manual, where they combine the two. But frankly, you don't want to combine the two.
And
if anything, the processes should derive from the policy.
Oh, I spilled. I have a drinking problem.
Yes, you're abusing alcohol.
I used to have some tissues here. Oh, well.
They're here somewhere. I saw them earlier. I really did.
I'm sure this old wood could use a drink. Anyway, yeah, so I know some folks on the LNC every term, as it happens, want to make the policy manual considerably shorter. Yeah. I don't mind making it shorter if it still covers everything.
Pulling this off the floor.
Yeah, my concern is it can't be that much shorter and still cover everything. But if it can be, great. Who wants a longer document for the sake of a longer document?
We had some tissues down there.
I think I used them all.
I could have sworn the box was just sitting here somewhere.
Oh, no, that was last time. I threw that box out last week. I can bring some up. Yeah. But anyway, so we are going to be shortening the policy manual, but some people were saying things like 17 pages. No, that ain't going to happen.
No, that doesn't.
There's 17 pages and footnotes.
Yeah, and notes. When you're building a policies like that, you want to, and you know this, but I'm going to say it anyway, you want to address why you're doing things. Versus the how you do it, which is what's derived down in the actual process itself. I deal with this all the time in software. When we derive requirements down to the point where this is what we're doing to build something, they track back up to a higher level arrangement where it's like, this is why we're doing it. Now this is what you're doing. And it's a good way to structure things.
And Gene said he watched the meeting and he thought it was good. Everyone thought it was very well ran. There was debate that wasn't nasty.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, JJ. Yeah, there's debate that wasn't nasty. The votes went quickly. And the one thing that was contentious, we all realized we weren't ready, which was the NDA. We punted it to the email list, so we'll see.
Yeah. By the way, I officially declare JJ one of our addicts.
Addicts?
For Cult of RONR.
Oh, okay.
He messaged me this morning asking me when we're going on the air.
It's been a while, and I
said a couple hours.
I still haven't broken them down into individual episodes because I got to do these freaking convention minutes.
That takes priority.
Yeah, the convention minutes I need to get done. And people are wondering, why are you in such a hurry? They're not due to the end of this month.
To get them out of the freaking way.
Not just that. I posted on the LNC list at 4 o'clock in the morning. I want to get them approved at the in-person meeting.
Right.
They can't get approved until they've been on the website for 14 days. So that means I need to get them on the website by the 15th.
And the next LNC meeting is at the end of the month.
Right. So I need to get them on the website by the 15th. That gives that 14-day window for public corrections. and then they can get approved at the LNC meeting.
Yeah.
I want them up and official and out of there.
So that meeting is what day on the 29th or something?
No, the 30th. The 30th and the 31st.
Okay, so you got the full month to grift for airfare.
For what?
Airfare.
Oh, yeah. God, that's an expensive trip, man.
DC, right?
For Alexandria,
Close enough, yeah.
Yeah. But the grifting on this show, super chats are always welcome, is for alcohol and pizza.
And other things like stripper poles.
Yeah. It's for this show.
Yes.
You know? And I'm already hungry, believe it or not. But let's get started. What's the first...
Okay. When we last left our heroes, whoever they were...
What day is it?
It starts off with April the 29th.
Your odds now. It got flipped
guess.
back. It got flipped back.
So that means you're asking me or I'm asking you?
No, you're asking me.
Okay. I'm the only one over here. Well, on the YouTube side, yeah. Well,
No, Gene's there.
Gene's there.
This is digging into my pits.
That's pitiful.
And look, we're not going to do this, but that could really be.
Her corset is pitiful.
Because this is a real zipper.
Yeah, I know. I can tell. I know what a real zipper looks like versus a fake one. I lived in the 80s with Michael Jackson.
Well, normally,
he specialized in fake zippers.
Well, normally, too, the front, and there's a ton of fake zippers on this thing, but normally the corsets have the little eye hooks.
Right.
You know, because
sometimes they have the draw.
No, I got a string. It's on the back.
Okay.
So you zip in. You string in on that, but the front still. This is called the busk.
Right.
Still needs a way too.
Yeah. I know. I've worked with these with Lynn a little bit. So.
Yeah. Hey,
yes,
Skip.
Skippy. Yes, Skippy. Okay. What? Oh, this is a broad question.
Abroad? I'm abroad.
Not like that. Broad. We have boost ratings. Yeah. No. See, the corset boosts things too, but that's not what we're talking about.
So JJ said on one of my videos last time he got an ad for small-breasted women. I don't know why that happened.
I don't know. I keep getting Facebook ads popping up for all these chat rooms that I look at and go, whatever. This is like the modern version of the old 900 chat lines that used to be on USA Network on Saturday nights with the bad movies. Anyway, April 29th.
Okay.
Which statement is true? A.
Whose truth?
Incidental motions.
Oh, God, no.
Have an assigned position in the order of precedence.
No, I get that wrong all the time.
Well, hang on. Let's get the rest of the choices.
That's not true.
B. More than one secondary motion may be pending at a time. C. There are 4 classes of secondary motions.
Oh, God.
Or D. There are 12 ranking motions.
And which statement is true?
That's the question, yes.
B.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Don't overthink it, yes.
I was trying not to overthink it. I knew it wasn't A because that screwed me up all the time.
Well, the reason is B is simple, because if you can have an amendment to an amendment.
But I was trying to consider whether an amendment to the amendment is still considered a secondary motion.
I think it is.
It is. They're both secondary motions, right.
Yeah, that's right, Gene. You
sorry.
Clunk.
I want to get this here because you're ahead of me by 1 point, and that's haunting my nightmare.
But you're actually ahead of me by 1 overall, so.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, when you add them up. Now you got 93, I had 92.
Oh, but we're not doing years. Come on.
Total accumulation.
Oh, no, you're 2 ahead of me. You fucking bastard. I'm going to have to just start and distracting you.
You just call my wife a bastard.
Oh, okay. I was drinking. Drinking's always more important. Now I'm getting hungry, though. All right, the third...
I thought it was cannabis that gave you the munchies.
And I don't smoke anymore, and it does, though. Did you cheat?
No.
Yeah. Who believes that? I don't believe it.
If I was cheating, that zipper'd be down. Kidding.
All right. Super chats, though. Okay. You ready?
I think so.
All right. If an organization schedules the dates of its regular meetings in advance of each meeting by resolution.
Wait a minute. Slow that down and start that over. If an organization does what?
Schedules the dates of its regular meetings in advance.
Okay.
Of each meeting.
Okay.
By resolution.
Okay.
A. Members must be notified at least quarterly of the schedule. B. Members need only be notified of changes to the scheduled dates.
The hell is that?
C. Members must be notified.
Wayne, stop moving the furniture!
Wayne, what are you doing? C. Members must be notified in advance of each regular meeting.
It's not that one.
D. Members must be notified at least 2 weeks in advance of each regular meeting.
It's not that one either. Give me A and B again.
Members must be notified at least quarterly of the schedule.
And
B. Members need only to be notified of changes to the scheduled dates.
I'm sticking with B because I know that's right. A could be right, but I'm pretty sure B is.
It's C. You weren't listening.
What?
I almost fell off my chair. How dare I defile the Holy Writ?
Hold on a second here. Oh, the cards fell down here.
Yeah, JJ got it right. But JJ, will you let me know again? Because I lost the notes for Wisconsin. I got that book. You told me to get that Parliamentary Opinions book. Did you get the rest of them? Yeah.
We're missing one. We're missing May 1st. That's what I'm looking for. Did it get stuck in there somehow?
No.
Weird.
Well.
Did it get out of order? No.
You're cheating.
I'm not cheating. I'm looking at dates, not answers.
Hold on, I'll look. But what question was that? Because I lost the notes, and I got to talk to Wisconsin. I got the book, though. Let me look. I don't see nothing down here.
I don't either, but maybe we just missed it in the pile. I don't know.
You're cheating because that's one of mine.
No, I'm holding today's in my hand. This one's just sitting over here.
But I'm just saying. Ow!
I didn't do it, whatever it is.
I stubbed my toe on the heater.
Okay, somebody dial 911 for a tow truck.
Okay. Hey guys, when you give the answers, don't just say, tell us what B is. Okay.
We'll get there.
All right. So, now you can say what it is.
Okay. The question was, we'll repeat the question because of all this interruption for trying to figure out where things ran off to. If an organization schedules the dates of its regular meetings in advance of each meeting by resolution, A, members must be notified at least quarterly of the schedule. B, which is what I thought it was, members... Oh, calm down, JJ.
Oh, no, I needed that.
Oh.
Yeah, that was something I asked him for.
Oh, something else. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay, B, members need only be notified of changes to the scheduled date. That's what I thought it was.
Okay, when you're reading this, I want to run up and get that book because this is important.
Go ahead. C, members must be notified in advance of each regular meeting, which is what they say is the right answer. And D, members must be notified at least 2 weeks in advance, of each regular meeting. So they say it's members must be notified in advance of each regular meeting. And I don't get that, and I'll tell you why I don't get it. Because you've already established those dates in advance by resolution that establishes notice as a regularly scheduled meeting. You do need to notify them of changes, absolutely, because if something's out of whack and they're not going to show up for something that's not there or a special meeting needs to happen. But I don't get what they're saying. It must be in advance of each regular meeting. You've already provided that notice by the resolution. So, the reference is section 9, page 89. So, what the heck is that? Parliamentary Opinions, Solutions to Problems of Organizations. Abolish the organization, problem solved. Anyway, 171.
How could it be 171? There isn't 171 pages in this book.
No, page 127. It's question 171.
Oh, God, okay. Thank you.
Okay, this was 89, 10 to 14, which is section 9, particular types of business meetings. This is in the very first paragraph, which I will read here. The term regular meeting or stated meeting refers to the periodic business of meeting of a permanent society, local branch, or board held at weekly, monthly, quarterly, or similar intervals, for which the day, parentheses, as the first Tuesday of each month, should be prescribed by the bylaws, and the hour and place should be fixed by a standing rule.
Bylaws.
Bylaws. If instead an organization follows the practice of scheduling the dates of all of its regular meetings by resolution, notice must be sent to all members in advance of each regular meeting, and the number of days notice required should be prescribed by the bylaws. Well,
Right, so it's B.
Well, they're saying it's B, and they're saying it's... No, they said it was C.
Or C, whatever.
I said it was
Yeah, you said it was B. C.
I said it was B because it changes.
No, but you have to let them know.
But you are. It's called what the resolution
Yeah, but
does.
C is the best answer.
See, I'm arguing that notice was already given by the resolution.
That is notifying them in advance. And that way, and it's scheduled. You're talking about notified of changes to the scheduled dates, but they were already scheduled.
Right.
So that has nothing to do with it being done by resolution. C is the best answer.
Ideas that we consult the bylaws that might not have the resolution. Well, that's not on us for them to read the damn things. We can lead them to the water, but we cannot make them drink.
So, now we're going to go to this, because I want to ask you your opinion on something.
Okay.
Which JJ had to help me with. Wisconsin.
Okay.
They have bylaw.
Yeah,
my face is up here.
I'm looking here.
Here's Mike. Watch my face.
No, I bow my head when I start thinking.
No, you're going. I'm going to do it like, hold on.
That's what you get for having cleavage. But anyway. All right. Now what about Wisconsin?
Okay, Wisconsin.
It's not down here.
Wisconsin. They have in their bylaws. Mm-hmm. I notice how you're looking straight ahead now. Bylaws that can never be amended.
What?
Yeah, so they have in their bylaws that section whatever can never be amended.
Who wrote that abortion manual?
I don't know. And most of them are unobjectionable, like we'll never discriminate against somebody based upon, sex, race, whatever. But some of them are things that like refer to committees by name, which committees don't exist anymore.
So they're referring to making permanent standing committees because you can't amend the bylaws.
Well, they don't.
Committees that don't exist in the first place.
Right, because they combine combine their bylaws and constitution.
Yeah.
But some of the unamendable provisions refer to the Constitution and Bylaws Committee. But there's no Constitution anymore. So I talked to JJ about this, and I'm like, I could think of some sneaky ways to get around the unamendable provision. Like, have a definition section at the beginning of the bylaws that say Constitution and Bylaws Committee refers to the Bylaws Committee.
But then you're amending the document by adding that.
No, but you're amending it early. You're amending a different section. You're not amending. You're only defining. Defining, that's arguable.
I would argue that's a substantive change.
Well, it is a substantive change, but it's not to that section.
So?
But I'm just saying.
You're saying the whole thing can't be amended? The whole bylaws?
No, just that one section.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood you then.
Let's just pull a section out there. Section 10 can't be amended.
Okay.
But I think you can put in a new section called definitions that defines the terms that's in Section 10.
Which, to be fair, there is an argument for that in bylaws in general.
And also, there's a misspelling in one of the unamendable sections between the word, I think, inshore and ensure, which have two different meanings. Everyone knows what's being meant, but that's kind of the thing.
Are they meaning ensure as in assure or insure as in to indemnify?
Not indemnify.
Okay.
So that's the problem. So I asked JJ about this. And we came to the conclusion that there's an argument to be made that you can't have a bylaw that's unamendable.
No, you can't. I would agree with that instantly.
Yeah, you can put a really high threshold, like 7/8 of registered delegates at convention.
With a double padlock.
Right, but you can't have so he got...
No, I would agree with that. You can't have something that's unamendable. That's
okay. Now this book doesn't say that; it implies that. So
okay, it was 127, 129.
Yeah, I got it.
Question 171.
And this is put out by AIP, not NAP. But
okay. So what? Do you read the book title off for people who can't see it?
Parliamentary Opinions: Solutions to Problems of Organizations from the American Institute of Parliamentarians. But like some of the authors, like there's the parliamentarian for the U.S. House of Representatives is one of the authors.
Okay.
Like, so there's big guns who are writing these opinions. So one question number 171 on page 127. What is the status of a bylaw provision which prohibits membership from amending or repealing an item in a society's bylaws? Is it ever wise to adopt such a provision?
Well, ladders, no.
Right. That, no. Next. But obviously they go further. And then they go on to like cite court law that says these things.
So they go into good depth.
Yeah, but it's not in Wisconsin's jurisdiction. I think it was in Georgia, but still.
So what's the cliff notes of all their summary there?
Well, the cliff notes, its safest course is to adopt a new set of bylaws which does not contain the permanent provision, but that requires a revision.
Right.
So
because you're basically it would fall under the classification of a revision,
right?
Because you can't amend it otherwise.
But remember,
that's a
members,
angle.
As long as members could submit amendments, you and I know this well, members could submit a revision, which doesn't open it up to the entire scope the way a committee.
So what they need to do to fix this is to, and I'm going to say running a yellow light here, is have a member committee, finger quotes on that.
Yeah, that's what I told them.
To go and propose that change and have everything else in the bylaws be exactly the same except for fixing that one thing. That would qualify as a member revision and it would solve the problem. But you also got everybody to sign off on it at the convention, which could be the hard part.
Yeah, so they basically say here...
There's always ways, folks.
In light of conflicting evidence, it cannot be stated with certainty that a clause prohibiting amendment of a bylaw provision is invalid from the start. However, it is unwise for reasons stated in the 1974 provision.
I wouldn't call it unwise,
no, it's unwise.
Well, it's unwise. I wouldn't call it invalid. I would call it, but it definitely is unwise.
It's uncertain whether it's invalid.
Yeah.
The possibility of litigation if an organization enacts an unalterable bylaw, and then it goes on to talk some more.
And the funny thing is, I bet if we took a look through section 56 in here in Roberts, you would not find anything that says bylaw that you can't have a bylaw that's unamendable.
But you do have a principle in there that the society should be free to evolve.
Correct.
That like somebody from the past shouldn't be able to set and cement.
Yeah. If your method of notice involves Morse code and carrier pigeons in the internet world, you need to change your bylaw.
And
it's that simple.
Right. And the whole thing gets down
Just to use a very
the
simple example.
principle that the dead hand of the past can't control the future.
Well, you know what? Tell that to the Supreme Court.
You can.
Stare decisis, thank you.
But stare decisis isn't unamendable. It can still be overturned. It's not the dead hand.
But they don't like to do so.
They did so in Roe versus Wade. I don't think today at all you can make an argument that precedent's not overturned.
No, I'm not saying it shouldn't. I'm saying they defer to it way too much.
A rebuttable presumption is not an unalterable presumption, which is what I was talking about.
That's fair.
Okay, so anyway, interesting.
So what's Wisconsin going to do about it?
Oh, I don't know. That's going to be up to them. I wanted to get them this.
Yeah.
But I think what JJ and I discussed is that the chair could make a ruling that it's invalid. It's uncertain, but the body could decide it's invalid and allow amendment. But I think the safest course of action is for a member committee to propose a new set of bylaws, minimally just getting rid of that so that it'll be relatively non-controversial, get that in, and then But
does that
bylaws committee.
Does that bylaw specifically say that it's unamendable?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And unsuspendable. Like they covered every base.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to get somebody so like with a bug up their ass that they did that.
But that's just crazy.
And also, one of the unamendable provisions, you're going to shit your... Here's part of the problem. One of the unamendable provisions is a provision that says bylaws take effect at the end of convention. They cannot pass a bylaw that takes effect immediately.
Okay. I can understand the mentality about that.
But the unintended consequences are a bitch.
The question is, was that part of their bylaws pre-merge, or was that part of their constitution pre-merge?
It doesn't matter.
Well, no. I'm looking at origin.
No. Please don't complicate things. I've already been through all of this. Yeah. No, it's there now.
Yeah.
That's just. There's a problem with the merge. It's a whole other story. That's why I don't want to go there.
It sounds like it was a residual. Is where I'm going with that. But in any case,
no, it's not a residual. It's a valid provision that was in there. It was in both of them.
Yeah, because we were very careful about that one.
Yeah.
Because the thing of it is that I can understand a mentality behind that, because a bylaw change taking effect immediately, and we discussed this prior to Reno, which is why the motion was to move all the bylaw stuff to the end.
But you could always put in a proviso.
You can. That's true.
But
in the absence of one, if you want to minimize the impacts in mid-stride.
Yeah, but sometimes you want to amend things.
Yeah, sometimes you need to.
Right,
yeah.
So you don't want to make it impossible.
Right, no, you don't. And they did. So what I'm saying is hair stuck in the Velcro. I can appreciate the mentality of it, but there's problems to it.
Right, it should have said, unless a proviso says otherwise, bylaws do not take. It should have flipped the standard.
Right, which is the standard we normally use. If we need to have an immediate or a delay on it, we put the proviso in the hand.
But I mean, if you were concerned that people would be ambushed by something that takes effect immediately,
right,
they could have in the bylaws flipped that standard and say it doesn't take effect immediately unless a proviso says it does, rather than it needing a proviso not to.
Right.
They could have flipped that standard.
Yeah. And while JJ is right about a nature of rule of order,
if it applies in the meeting, but the type of changes we're talking about aren't things that just apply in the meeting.
Right. So.
Yeah, because I was listening in the bylaws, and Alicia was right. It's bizarre. We've got, our national bylaws are messed up, but
well, I've been saying that for the past 15 years.
that where Aaron at first moved to amend bylaws 15.2, because he's right. As you read it, it does mean that the candidate with the lowest votes can only be dropped in the initial round of voting for party officers. And remember, he wanted to amend that to say for subsequent rounds as well. But Alicia correctly pointed out later that that's a bylaw in the nature of a rule of order and it can be suspended. Right. But we need to just...
Yeah, because when that happened, we're talking about the vice chair race, because even Ken was a little confused about, okay, after that second round and there was still... and nobody still had a majority, the answer is then what? And I know we had a powwow up on the stage, and Richard Brown was in on that, and he agreed with me. I said, look, that suspension only applied to this vote. Because if you want to apply it to further votes, it causes an absurdity.
JJ says when it goes into effect is in the nature of a rule of order. The section that says it can't be amended also says it can't be suspended.
Right.
Wisconsin really locked down that provision.
Yeah,
it can't be suspended either.
They locked it down, encase it in concrete, then encase the concrete in 6-inch steel.
Yeah, so I've been talking with them about what they can do to fix some of this stuff because it's not serving them well.
No, that's a major what the hell.
Yeah.
They got to fix that. That's all.
But I was waiting to get this book to be able to copy that chapter for them. But now that I see the chapter for myself, the best thing is for them to do a bylaws committee, a member committee.
Yeah, because the way that's written, the way you describe it, they can't even have the chair at a convention take a point of order about it and defer it to the body to decide.
I think they can, no.
Because that would be the effect of having a suspension of it, wouldn't it?
No. It's an interpretation of it. And the bylaws, the ultimate interpretation of the bylaws is up to the body.
Right.
And this book does say it's unclear, it's ambiguous whether or not a permanent bylaw is invalid from the start. So I think the chair can put that question to the body. But the fact is, it can be raised over and over and over and over again until the bylaws are amended.
Right. So the easy way is just to fix the damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why we take walks through the bylaws, folks. We find all sorts of interesting, weird crap like this.
Yeah. All right. So is it me now?
Yeah, I ask you.
But I can't wait to sit and just read this book.
However,
I'm such a fucking geek.
We have a problem.
What?
The previous question was April 30th. We're missing May 1st when it's not a Sunday.
Well, now you're back on evens because we lost
We'll just flip it over. Okay, fair enough. Okay. No, I don't know where May 1st, that's what we were looking around for a few minutes ago.
Yeah, so now you're back on evens and I'm on odds.
Okay. Hang on, I gotta read this myself. Figure out what to talk about.
This sangria is getting to me.
Well, that's your problem.
I know. I always get drunk these meetings. And then I sleep, and I wanted to do part 3 of minutes tonight.
You mean you can't do minutes in your sleep?
Wayne's
what kind of secretary are you? I'm kidding.
Wayne's got to dye my hair tonight.
Okay. Just don't spill the ink on the minute. The hair dye on the minutes, yeah.
Well, minutes are all electronic right now. But
and don't spill on your keyboard.
In July...
Yeah?
We're in July. Robert Brown...
Richard Brown.
Excuse me, Richard Brown, I'm drunk. It's from AIP. I found it for $7 on Amazon.
Yeah, Parliamentary Opinions 2.
I gotta go look on AIP because I want to get, I collect certifications. You know how I am.
I'll wallpaper your room with the studio. Okay. I hope I understand what they're asking here.
I hope I understand.
This is a complicated question.
Oh, God.
I think. Okay. Pardon me if I murder this, but I'm going to try. Instead of referring a matter to a committee, comma, parenthesis, the assembly may establish, close parenthesis, a number of breakout groups with every member urged to participate in a group. The groups, plural, possessive, conclusions are reported, colon. A, to the assembly for the final decision. B, through a moderator directly to the assembly. C, conveyed to a committee that assembles them and attempts to report to the assembly. Or D, all of the above.
What?
I said this was complicated.
So you go in breakout groups. Each breakout group comes to a conclusion.
Yes.
And then how do you put those together for the...
How do you report them back? Yeah.
Okay, go to the answers again.
Okay. A, to the assembly for the final decision. B, through a moderator directly to the assembly. C, conveyed by it to a committee that assembles them and attempts to report to the assembly. Or D, all the above.
A.
It's actually D, which I find a little weird.
But
That's
weird.
This is down.
I
This
was
is
guessing.
way down in the weeds.
Okay, we're going to need to read this because... And Richard, this is volume 2.
Yeah, this is way down in the weeds. So.
But it's the AIP one. I have the parliamentary questions and answers from NAP as well. I don't think I have volume 2. I have volume 1 and volume 3. Volume 2 seems to be MIA and I can't find it anywhere. But those are bigger. That's what she said. And they're hard. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
And we're slacking. The volume sucks.
Yeah. Well, that's because it's the little thing there.
Parliamentary Opinions 2?
Yes.
Yes.
But not 82 through 90. What are you talking about, 82? Talking about years?
It's the copyrights.
Ooh, I have a thing here. This used to belong to Joseph Hairston.
In Washington.
Oh, yeah,
DC.
82 through 91, yeah.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah. Sorry. Once we look at the subtitle page, yeah.
Yeah. And we got his phone number. We should call him up and say, dude, we have your book.
We have your book. Send us pizza and beer money or you'll never see it again.
Yeah. So copyright 1992 by AIP.
Okay. I have found the appropriate section here.
Oh, okay.
It is under Section 52, Committee of the Whole, of all places. Careful! Man, you're going to spill your wine everywhere.
Section 52.
Hold on a second. We're putting this over here.
Okay.
Out of the way, so you don't wind up spilling all over your keyboard, your microphone, or God knows what else.
Section 52.
And you're really in trouble. Page 541-ish. The section is called Aids to the Crystallization of Opinion.
What the actual hell?
Yeah, I know. It's towards the end of the section. Matter of fact, it's the very end
Aids
of the...
to the crystallization of opinion.
Okay.
Oh my God, okay.
I know. Don't ask me what I think about these titles. I just read them. Okay. I'm missing one from NAP 2, he says. Okay.
You're probably missing the same one I am, that you just can't get. I've been looking for it forever. I think it's number 2. I have 1 and 3, I believe, and it's those brown volumes that are about that big, that thick.
Not me. Anyway. Okay. Let's see. This was lines 35 to 36 and over to the next page. Oh, I'm just going to read this off because this is long.
Okay.
The more traditional aids to the crystallization of opinion in societies have been, simply, to take a recess or to refer the matter to a committee, often a large committee composed of members representing differing views in society, such as a committee of the whole or one of its alternate forms, informal consideration, quasi-committee, and so on. What?
Mike was like, okay. I was getting warm.
I'm trying to cool you off. You're hot in here. Is it hot in here or is it just you? It's you. Anyway. Where was I?
I got the heater on, but I'm vacillating between having a jacket and not.
You're having hot flashes.
Basically, yeah.
Each breakout group, of which there may be many, is usually kept small. Frequently 10 or 12 persons, that's what she said. And a moderator is appointed for each group.
For each group, but it talked about a moderator for everybody.
No, actually it doesn't. It just says,
Oh.
It just says through a moderator directly to the assembly.
Okay, see, that's what confused me. I thought it
So
meant...
basically the breakout group moderator is the one who reports it back out.
So it's kind of like the informal chair.
Yes.
And that's what I was thinking. Because that way that was worded made it sound like one moderator.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I agree with you.
That's a shitty question, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I didn't get it right.
Anyway, often the groups meet during a recess or adjournment of the assembly. Sometimes the conclusion reached by the various breakout groups are conveyed to a committee that assembles them and attempts to report a consolidated response.
So you can do
to the
that
assembly.
too.
Well, then, if they have a committee that consolidates it and reports it back, why do you need the breakout groups in the first place?
Well,
let the committee do all that work, which they were trying to avoid to do in the first place.
But the committee is assembling all the opinions rather than the committee coming to an opinion.
Yeah, but the original question was instead of referring it to
Yeah.
committee, and it winds up going there anyway. Anyway.
That was the confusing thing. I didn't know any of that.
At other times, there's a little more here. At other times, the breakout groups report through their moderators directly to the assemblies after it has been reconvened and the matter under consideration is again pending. These reports are in the nature of debate. Whatever method is used, in the end, the pending measure must be returned to the full assembly for final consideration or normal parliamentary procedure, just as in the case of a referred question reported back by a committee, and the assembly must make the final decision if whatever is to purport, as a whole there, to be a product of the assembly is to be valid as the assembly's act.
Oof, that's too complicated.
So the whole 9 yards of it is they want to avoid a committee doing this, so they send it to all these breakout groups who do all this stuff, and then they can bring it back, but they can bring it back either directly to the assembly piecemeal,
or to a committee.
Or to a committee, which they're trying to avoid in the first place, and then reports it back.
That's just way too complicated.
It is, that's, like I said, that's getting down in the weeds.
Yeah. Anyway, though, I didn't get it right, so...
Okay.
All right, so now this is the stack for me to you.
What is that? That's free sample.
You ready? Mr. Seebeck?
Hold on a second. One moment.
I need to get you drunk.
I drive.
So I can take advantage of you.
Ooh, baby.
All right, the third.
The third.
Yeah. In the meeting of the convention.
That's a Sunday, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Oh, so I get another one. Yay. Yay.
Sorry, it's because the first got lost in the pile.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is nominations.
Check my email. Go ahead. You can talk while I'm checking my email.
Okay. Strictly speaking, nominations are not necessary, colon, A, when all current officers have agreed to continue serving.
Wait, start again. I'm not going to read that email because I'm too drunk to do two things at once.
Update index to the 10th edition?
Yeah, I don't know what that's talking about. What 10th edition? 10th edition of what? Roberts?
Anyway. Strictly speaking, nominations are not necessary, colon, A, when all of the current officers have agreed to continue serving. B, when an election is by ballot or roll call. C, when an organization does not have a nominating committee. Or D, since it is practical to proceed to an election without first making nominations.
I don't understand any of that. Start again?
You're just missing one. You're missing a button there. Make it make sense.
Oh, hold on. Where's make it make sense?
I don't know.
Right here.
Make it make sense.
RONR, yes, he says, for the 10th.
Oh, why do we care about the 10th?
I don't know. That's like ancient.
Okay.
Okay. Strictly speaking, nominations are not necessary, colon.
Okay.
A, when all of the current officers have agreed to continue serving. B, when an election is by ballot or roll call. C, when an organization does not have a nominating committee. Or D, since it is practical to proceed to an election without first making nominations.
None of those make sense. But the one that makes the most sense, even though I think it's shitty, is A.
You sure?
No.
Okay. You going to go with that?
No. Nominations aren't necessary.
It updates P. Oh, okay. The 10th index updates to P to that. P that parliamentary opinions too, I think. Is what
I
it's
don't
saying.
get what that means, JJ. Okay.
Anyway.
One
thing at a time. One thing at a time.
Nominations are not necessary.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay. A, when all the current officers have agreed to continue serving.
Well, if no one else wants to serve, okay, continue.
B, when an election is by ballot or roll call.
Maybe that's what they mean.
C, when an organization does not have a nominating committee.
I don't think that has anything to do with that. You wouldn't need.
D, since it is practical to proceed to an election without first making nominations.
It's not practical, is it? B then.
It is B, actually.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me, though.
I'll tell you why.
Why?
Okay, because
You could write it in?
you can write it on a ballot, and if you're having a roll call vote on an election, you have people, okay, all a favor of electing so and so.
But I still
You
think
rattle 'em off.
nominations you should always have nominations.
Well, I agree with you, but what they're talking about here is that under the letter of the rules, you don't need to do it under these circumstances.
Well-
As a customary practice, yes, you should. We
Okay.
agree on that.
B. I said it right then, but
Yeah,
you gave me a
after you-
big hint.
Oh yeah, I asked you if you were right or not, if you're sure or not.
Because none of it made any sense, and you agreed none of that made any sense, but I still got it right, so. We're even now.
You know what it is on that one? We are so used to our own custom.
Our own. I know, we're so locked into the
But you know
LP.
what? It makes sense the way we do
He
it.
did it again.
It makes sense the way we
He
do
went,
it.
Here, hold on, I'm going to do Mike. It made sense.
I'm a guy. I'm not blind. I have had my eyes fixed. I have it.
Mike.
So
Yes.
Take it as a compliment.
Yes. Mike. Okay, let's.
My eyes are not down here.
Oh boy! All right, number 5.
Number 5, alive.
The call. Well, whatever the 5th of whatever.
No, that's a reference to the movie Short Circuit.
The call of a meeting is a written notice of its time and place, which
Yes,
has been adopted at the previous meeting of the organization,
maybe.
is mailed or distributed to all members in advance, a reasonable time in advance.
Possibly.
C, serves to notify delegates of their election.
No.
D is a bylaw requirement.
Should be, but I'm going to go with B.
It's B.
Yeah.
So
and I'm basing that on the fact that we have a requirement that it be published in a newspaper or general circulation.
Okay, this is just a meeting, though, not convention.
Yeah.
So any meeting.
Oh. I was thinking of conventions, but okay.
Yeah, no, it's just any meeting. But it needs to be mailed or distributed a reasonable time in advance.
There we go.
I think that's logical.
It is logical.
Okay.
How are they going to know to show up if they don't know when and where to do it? Okay, no, that's not right.
What?
Oh yeah, the back of the back one. That's not right either. There.
Man, and I'm the one who's been drinking. I've got my jug of wine.
There's an old Victor Borga thing where he's up on the piano and he's got the music up here.
Have you been listening to the sea shanty songs?
No, I haven't. But he starts playing. Stops. Turns the music over.
So you haven't seen that TikTok? Where the guy with the green...
I don't do TikTok.
Where the guy with the green shirt all of a sudden ends up in the back.
Oh,
when
I've
he was
seen
in the
that.
front.
That's made up on Facebook.
Isn't that crazy?
It's weird.
So that song.
Because the other colors also shift when they're all rotating around like that. And I keep
but isn't that song good?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's a good song. Now that's a sea shanty song. That's what I'm saying.
Although Gene posted up today on his Facebook page, no more fucks to give.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's funny.
Which is hysterical. Yeah. Okay. A motion to strike out a paragraph from one place and insert it into another place.
That's what she said.
A. Oh God,
That's what she said.
you're going to get this question correct because this is a very,
oh God, no,
very easy.
I've been drinking a lot.
No, this one I'm.
Okay, a motion to strike a paragraph from one spot
And put it in someplace else.
and put it in somebody else.
A is not permitted.
No, you're allowed to do that.
Right. B is a form of substitute.
No, it's not.
C is similar in type to a motion to strike out and insert words.
Yes.
Or D allows for material amendment of the paragraph as it is inserted into another place.
As?
Yeah. In other words, what they're saying is you pull it out of one place, amend it, and put it in another. As part of the putting it in the other place.
You do have to do that.
Don't overthink it.
Start again.
A motion to strike out a paragraph from one place and insert it into another.
Uh-huh.
A is not permitted.
No,
We know
that's wrong.
We know that's wrong, yes. B is a form of a substitute.
It's not a form of a substitute.
You know your substitutes. C is similar in type to a motion to strike out and insert.
Yes, it is.
D allows for material amendment of the paragraph as it is inserted into another
C.
place. It is C.
Yes.
I said don't overthink
I'm
it.
still not sure about D, but I knew C was
D,
right.
No, you can't do D.
What
I can guarantee you.
What does
you
D
can't
say?
Allows you for a material amendment of the paragraph as is inserted into another place. So in other words, if you have a set of words here, and you're pulling it out of here, and you're pulling it over here, you can't change the wording from here to here along the way.
Is it saying along the way?
That's what it says, as is inserted, yes.
Because I'm wondering...
We'd have to amend it after the fact.
Don't you have to amend it before the fact? That's my question. Let's look this up. Because the rules are way more complicated than people think on amendment.
Okay,
they really are.
This is section...
And most people do it wrong, and I don't care.
Section 12. Page what?
I'm waiting for JJ to...
Page 134.
I'm waiting for JJ to pipe in.
What? This reference is different. It says Part 2, Question 85, Reference 134, Chapter 6, Section 12.
So we need insert...
There's no page number here. This is actually a legitimate...
To insert or add words. To insert or add a paragraph. Section 1231 in the 12th.
Hang on, I'm working there.
The rules for insertion or addition of a paragraph. Oh no, but we want strike and insert.
Here. No, hang on. I'm fine. I'm looking. Yeah, there's no actual page reference here, so I'm kind of...
I need strike and insert.
134.
To strike out words.
Here we go.
To strike out a paragraph. There is an essential difference between the motion. No, I want to strike out and insert. To strike out and insert applying to words. To strike out and insert applying to words.
Okay, further rules and explanations is where I think we're looking.
I'm looking for to strike out and insert referring to paragraphs. I can't find that.
Okay, here's what I found. I think. It should be under further rules and explanations with forms.
No, you're up at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because I think it's referring to page 134 in here, which is like towards the front.
Okay, well, let's go to that, but that's not what I'm looking for.
Okay.
So
We're speculating here, but because it doesn't give a specific chapter and verse, we're just getting close.
Where?
Under further rules and explanations
Okay,
with
classifications
forms,
as to form.
and you've got like first process to insert or to add, second process to strike out.
And the strike out and insert, which applies to words.
Right, but to strike out a paragraph is 2B.
But that says it's a substitute.
Right here.
Oh, no, that's the strike out.
Yeah.
Third process, which is a combination. To strike out and insert, which applies to words, and then to substitute.
That is in effect to strike out a paragraph or the entire text of the resolution, the main motion, and insert another in its place.
Another in its place,
Okay,
not the same
okay,
one.
let's reverse them in here. Yeah, this question is about inserting the words insert into those words into another place, not insert words to replace it. Yeah.
Okay, no, go to 12.9. Go to 12.9.
That is right, both forms 1A
and 2A relating to words
right
can be
this.
applied to change the wording within a single sentence or occasionally two or more sentences that make up part of a single paragraph.
Right, keep going.
Okay, forms blah blah relating to a paragraph can also be applied to a section, article, or larger unit. That doesn't help.
Okay, do you have the? Okay, you don't have the asterisks I do on this page. Actually, yeah, they're right here. First one, it should be noted that.
Oh, a motion to strike out a paragraph from one
There
place and insert it in a different place is also possible. Such a motion is not a motion to substitute.
Right.
It is similar to the second of the two types of the motion to strike out and insert discussed in 1258 through 59. The wording of the paragraph cannot be materially amended by a motion of this type or by any secondary amendment to it.
Right.
Okay, but once it's been moved, the transferred paragraph may be amended by any of the usual forms.
That's what I was saying. That means
my question was, did it need to be amended before
It's after.
or after the move?
Right.
It's after the
I was saying
move.
it was after, yeah.
Okay.
Because you want to move it to where you want it to go, then you got to make sure it matches up
You
with what the hell is
can
there.
amend it before, and then once it's amended, decide it doesn't belong there and move it, though.
That's possible. But
Yes, okay.
That's messier.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
So in the current edition, that is footnote 4. I'm looking for.
It's the second footnote.
So it's
in the
12,
and you got it right.
3B, footnote 4.
Yeah. Because all this says is reference 134. It doesn't say anything else. So we're looking around going, what the hell is it? Excuse me.
By the way, Richard, I think we made a wrong call on convention.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. I don't know what the vote was. I don't know if it would have passed.
Yeah.
But, no, it failed, so it didn't matter. That's right. So Ted Brown, after the third round of vice chair voting, moved to adjourn. And then all of us went into this huge huddle as to whether this would require a majority vote or a 2/3 vote.
I remember that.
And we came down saying it required a majority. I think we were wrong. I think it required a 2/3 because there was a previous motion to suspend the rules that said we would not adjourn until the vice chair was elected. So in isolation,
I remember seeing that.
In isolation, it would have required a majority. But because there was a previous suspension of the rules that we would not adjourn until a vice chair was election.
You have to have the 2/3 to overcome that suspension.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it failed even with a majority. So it's a difference without a distinction.
Yeah.
It's just academic.
And it didn't matter because we eventually wound up, the motion failed and we wound up
Right.
finishing
but I
the
think
vote anyway.
all three of us, it was me, Richard, and John Wilford, I think we were all wrong.
Yeah, I remember that motion because we were in the middle of tallying stuff at the time.
Yeah, I think we forgot about the prior motion to suspend.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
And the live notes weren't good.
And at the same time, people were like, no, let's get this over with.
Yeah, but it failed with a majority, so it definitely would have failed with a 2/3.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we were all wrong. And Richard, I'm wondering if you remember that and if you agree now. But in hindsight, without, all the pressure, I think all three of us got that wrong.
No,
Okay, so now...
I'm being a little weird. I'm being curious. Recess.
It's not a recess. It was an adjourn.
Oh, wasn't it adjourn?
Yeah, recess is when you're staying in the same general area.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Let's go to the next tab. This is adjourn. I'm curious.
Yeah, but it wasn't just an adjourn. We already made a motion, so it was almost like an amend something previously adopted. I'm not sure. I think it would have been 2/3, though. Because we were under a suspension of the rules. And you would have needed to... So we created a new rule. And making it a motion to adjourn, I think is a red herring. By suspending the rules, we in effect made a new rule for that day that we would not adjourn until a vice chair was elected. To change that is a further suspension of the rules.
Yeah, I agree with you.
2/3.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we were... I'm interested in what Richard has...
You're asking me.
No, I just won one.
Yeah.
I just got that right.
Right, now you're asking me the question.
I'm a dumbass. Richard says I'm trying to remember. I know I'm only remembering it because I just re-listened to it again to do the minutes.
But no, I think you're right because we were under suspension at that point to get that finished, and as a result, we had to get that done. And it would have taken 2/3 to override that to do the adjournment. Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Yeah. I think we were confusing ourselves.
If you follow the sequence of the vote thresholds, it makes
Plus, you got to
sense.
remember, we were there for 10 hours at that point.
Yeah, we were dragging. We were dragging. That was a couple long days.
And that was right after that very emotional tiff with Omar Rakiro.
Uh-huh.
So you
were out of it too.
I was out of it.
And that was right before we had to figure out, well, what happens with the next vote because of that top two thing.
And Omar was upset. I was upset. He's a good friend of mine. So then, first I was upset at him, and then I was upset because he was upset because he's my friend, and I don't like seeing a friend upset.
Yeah, you guys sorted it out afterwards.
Yeah, so the minute Omar started crying, I was done.
Yeah.
I was just done. I can't stand seeing a friend cry.
But to be fair, you guys sorted it out.
Oh, yeah, we did.
And everything
but I was wrecked. The minute Omar started crying, I was upset. I was wrecked.
I know.
And
right after that was when there was the question of the next vote for the vice chair thing.
Yeah.
And I actually jumped into the conference with Richard and Ken on that one.
No, you were up there too, yeah. But I don't care how right I am.
And what is this about national conventions where the chair is no longer able to do it, the vice chair takes over, and it's you, me, and Richard Brown up there? What the is it? It's going to be a trend? Is it going to happen in D.C. or what? Is Josh our next victim?
This is my weakness to the superpower. I don't care how right I am. If I'm friends with the person I'm arguing with, the minute they start crying, I'm done. I give up. I just give up.
That's not a superpower. That's a weakness.
And then to adjourn in advance of the time set requires a majority vote. But I think
we were already under suspension.
Yeah, we were already under suspension. I think it doesn't really matter here, but I do think it required 2/3.
I think, Richard, if we were not under suspension, you'd be right.
Yeah, I understand his argument, though. I could go both ways.
Yeah.
It's a tricky question. I think we should ask this on the Roberts Forum. Let's see what Mr. Hahnemann has to say.
Mr. Hahnemann would say, why were you suspending the rules in the first place?
Yeah, he'd be like, what are you, stupid? I love him. All right, here you go.
To which the response is, don't make the pink and the tie-dye come into the temple.
Okay, are you ready?
Pink's already in the temple.
Yeah, God, now Richard's making me second guess again. That is a tough question.
234 the 12th? Okay.
234.
That is under, if I'm guessing correctly, it's right under the privileged motion parts, except for the following cases.
234. 234? Page 234, the 12th?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Let's go back one page.
No, this is 234.
Yeah, go back one page, please.
But he didn't say 234.
What's the section header?
That's lay on the table.
This is point of order.
Huh?
I think you're in the wrong thing.
234 and 11th is adjourn.
Yeah, 234 and 12 is point of order. Well, let's move on.
Anyway.
Whoops. Okay, are you ready?
Obviously, you're not.
In advance.
You got the dropsies today.
In advance.
In advance of what?
In advance. No, excuse me. Not in advance. In absence.
In absence of what?
In absence of a quorum.
Yes.
A quasi-committee of the whole.
Uh-huh.
Or meeting in informal consideration of a question.
Okay.
Colon. Cannot fix the time to which to adjourn.
Well, duh.
B. Can recess. C. Cannot adjourn.
No.
D. Cannot adopt measures to obtain a quorum.
Well, it's definitely not A or D. A was what again?
Cannot fix the time to which to
They
adjourn.
can't do that anyway. D was...
Can recess.
D was can recess?
Okay, let's start again.
Yeah, please.
And Richard does it.
There's the 11th. Okay.
A. In the absence of a quorum,
Yeah.
a quasi-committee of the whole, or a meeting in informal consideration of a question.
Okay.
A. Cannot fix the time to which to adjourn.
Which they can't do.
So you're saying that's correct.
No, I'm saying they can't do A.
Well, and that's what A says. Cannot fix the time to which to adjourn.
Okay, keep going.
B. Can recess.
They can recess their committee, but they can't recess the main body because there's no quorum in the first place. Okay, keep going.
C. Cannot adjourn.
It's ditto.
What?
What's D?
Okay, you're not making any sense. Let's start over.
The question is what they can do or what they can't do.
It doesn't say either. It depends upon what it says in the subparts.
Oh, God.
In the absence of a quorum. So there's no quorum.
There's no quorum,
You have a quasi-committee of the whole.
which is separate from the main body by definition.
Or it's not. Okay, I'm going to give you some clues here. A quasi-committee of the whole
Yes.
is the same as a committee of the whole.
Right.
Except you don't elect a different chair.
Right. But that is not the same as the full body.
But it's the same members.
Yeah.
Okay, just saying.
But because it's a committee and not the body itself.
Okay, now let me continue. So in the absence of a quorum, you
Right.
don't have a quorum.
Right.
You have either a quasi-committee of the whole
Yeah.
or a meeting in informal consideration of the question.
Okay.
A. They cannot fix the time to which to adjourn.
No, they cannot. Keep going.
So you're saying A is true.
Yes. Keep going.
B. They can recess.
Recess what? Their own committee?
It just says
consideration, or
recess.
what? Yeah, that's badly written. See?
Cannot adjourn.
There's no quorum to adjourn in the first place. D?
Cannot adopt measures to obtain a quorum.
No, they can't. So it's A. I'm going with A.
It's B.
What?
They can recess.
Recess what? Themselves? Or
Yes.
the whole...
Okay, they can fix the time to which to adjourn. That's one of the things you can do in the absence of a quorum. They can adjourn. That's one of the things you can do in the absence of a quorum. They can adopt measures to obtain a quorum. That's one of the things you can do in the absence of a quorum.
No.
Yes, you can. Those are the three things you can do in the absence of a quorum.
I disagree with that, and I'll
Well,
tell you why.
Well, we're going to
How
go
are-
look at Roberts.
How are you going to establish a vote to adjourn if you don't have a quorum in the first place?
That's just, it's an exception. It's one of the things that's an exception. So let's go here.
It's way in the back.
There's certain
Section
things you
40.
can do in absence of a quorum. You can do measures to obtain a quorum. You can fix the time to which to adjourn, hoping that there's a quorum in the future. You can recess, or you can adjourn.
They're calling this under Section 40, which is quorum. 348, which...
There's limited things you can do without a quorum.
Okay, I'm going to back up a little bit here.
Or as JJ would say, when you're incorate.
In what?
Incorate.
Incorate? That sounds like you're mining crystals somewhere.
INQUORATE. Incorate. It's a fancy word. I like it.
Sounds like you're mining crystals somewhere. Okay. Proceedings in the absence of a quorum under Section 40. Okay.
Section 40, you said?
40.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
347 and 348 in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In the absence of a quorum, any business transacted except for the procedural actions noted in the next paragraph is null and void. But if a quorum fails to appear at a regular or properly called meeting, the inability to transact business does not detract from the fact that society's rules requiring the meeting to be held were complied with, and the meeting was convened, even though it had to adjourn immediately. That's not relevant to what we're talking about.
Right. Go to the next paragraph.
Even in the absence of a quorum, the assembly may fix the time to which adjourn, recess, or take measures to obtain a quorum. The assembly, not the quasi-committee of the whole.
But JJ says a quasi-committee is not a separate body.
I disagree. Well, it is a different body.
Let's go to quasi-committee.
It is a different body.
Well, it's definitely not a different body. A motion to consider informally,
but so quasi-committee of the whole is Section 52. I don't think it's a separate body.
See, I believe
it's just a different way of proceeding with the same body.
See, I believe it is a separate body.
Okay. It's the assembly acting, so it is the same assembly.
Okay, hang on. There's three bullets on page 530 in section 52. Okay. The committee of the whole results vote taken not final decisions of the assembly. That establishes recommendations which the assembly is given an opportunity to consider further, in which it votes on final and regular rules. Right. Makes sense. The quasi-committee of the whole, which is convenient meetings of medium size, results taken are reported to the assembly for final consideration under the regular rules, just as with a committee of the whole, but in this case the presiding officer of the assembly remains in the chair and presides. So that's treating it as a separate committee. I'm reading it right off here. Informal consideration, which is suited to small meetings, simply removes the normal limitation on times members can speak and debate, as stated in the first paragraph of the section.
But it's still the assembly acting.
The regular presiding officer remains in the chair. Results of the votes taken during informal consideration are decisions of the assembly which are not voted on again. See, here's the problem, okay? Informal consideration, they're claiming that the votes taken are the decisions of the assembly, but that the informal consideration is the exact same as a quasi-committee of the whole, except that the regular presiding officer remains in the chair. But in the very previous comment, it says that the quasi-committee of the whole votes are then retaken up by the full assembly for further deliberation. You can't have it both ways. That's the problem. Because if the motions done by a quasi-committee of the whole or a committee of the whole are to be taken up for further consideration by the main assembly, then that further consideration has to be a motion to reconsider something previously adopted, which is not the case. They're considered main motions. You see where I'm going with this? There's a problem here. If the committee of the whole, the quasi, has the votes taken under those to be taken up again by the assembly after they come out.
It's when there's recommendations.
Right, but they're taken up again for further consideration. So that means the votes in those committees are not the votes of the assembly. They can't be. Committee of the whole, yes, that's Richard's right. It is a separate body.
Yeah, but this is a quasi-committee of the whole.
But again, under quasi-committee of the whole, results of votes taken are reported to the assembly for final consideration under the regular rules, just as with a committee of the whole. But in the case
it's not a separate body.
But in this case, the presiding officer of the assembly remains in the chair and presides.
So there's no functional difference between the two.
Except who's in charge.
Okay, I think you're confusing identity with procedure. A quasi-committee of the whole is a procedural way to act that removes the rules for each person, such as each person may only speak twice on a motion for 10 minutes.
No, that's what informal consideration says.
But it's the same thing.
No. They specifically delineate them here. I'm just reading these bullets as they're here.
Yeah. Okay, let me go. I see that, but let me go. Yeah, but in contrast to a committee of the whole, the quasi-committee of the whole is not a real committee, but is the assembly acting a certain way. So it's still the assembly. It's not a separate body. That's the difference between it and committee of the whole. It's still the same assembly.
Then why is there having to reconsideration of the regular rules for the main assembly for any things that come out of the quasi-committee of the whole?
But then I'd say, why have a quasi-committee of the whole? And so 5219 is what. Yeah, that's what I just read, JJ. A simpler version.
What's the title of that piece? Just for
a quasi-committee of the whole, consideration as if in committee of the whole. A somewhat simpler version of the committee of the whole, in effect, is the procedure of consideration in quasi-committee of the whole, which is convenient in assemblies of medium size. In contrast to a committee of the whole, the quasi-committee of the whole is not a real committee, but is the assembly acting as if it's a committee of the whole.
So what we have a contradiction in two parts of Roberts.
No, I don't think it's a contradiction.
Then in that case, then any type...
Because you're talking about a procedure rather than an identity, and you're treating it as an identity.
The identity dictates the procedure.
Not always.
In this case, it does.
No, in this case, it doesn't. It's an exception. The quasi-committee of the whole, they act as if they're a committee of the whole, but they're really not a separate body. They're getting all the advantages of committee of the whole, but they're still the same assembly.
In that case, then, when any recommendations that come out of that committee, that quasi-committee of the whole, are not retaken up.
No, they're retaken up under the procedures of their regular assembly. It's all just procedural and not identity.
In that case, then, what they'd be taking up a second time would have to be motion of reconsideration of previously adopted.
No, it's not anything previously adopted because the quasi-committee makes a recommendation, not an adoption.
Well, you're saying that you're saying that the body is doing that.
Because they're the same
thing.
thing. It's not an actual committee. They're acting as if they're a committee.
In that case,
I'm continuing reading.
If they're not a committee, but then they have to be the main assembly.
I'm going and reading further.
Yeah. Right.
It says, in contrast to the case of a real committee of the whole, any motion that would be in order in the assembly is also in order in the quasi-committee of the whole.
Yeah.
So, if the assembly was able to move to fix the time to which to adjourn, the quasi-committee of the whole can also fix the time to which to adjourn.
But then it also can be but then the main assembly has to be able to has the authority to go back over that after it comes out of that, assuming they have a quorum.
But they don't have a quorum. This is one of the exceptions of the things that you can do in absence of a quorum.
So if you don't have
the assembly is allowed to fix the time to which to adjourn, the quasi-committee can also fix the time to which to adjourn, since the quasi-committee can do anything that the assembly can do.
But the assembly doesn't have a quorum.
But that's one
How
of
can
the
the quasi-committee have a quorum?
They don't, but it's
then they can't vote it.
Yes, they can, because it's one of the exceptions of things that can be done in the absence of a quorum. Go back to the section we originally started with. There are certain things that can be done in the absence of a quorum. You can recess, you can fix the time to which to adjourn, you can adjourn, and you can take measures in order to obtain a quorum. Those are the 4 exceptions of things you can do in an inquorate meeting.
I think they're doing it wrong,
but it is what it is.
I understand what you're saying. I think that they're trying to split.
JJ and Richard, tell me if I explained that right, sister. First time I've ever explained that in my life.
They're trying to have the best of all worlds, and they're getting all of it wrong.
No, I don't think so. You got to be.
How was the quasi-committee of the whole constituted?
What do you mean?
You got to go into it at some point, right?
It's just a procedure.
How is that procedure done?
You just agree to it.
How is it agreed on?
By the assembly.
Who doesn't have a quorum?
But you're allowed to do that in the absence of a quorum.
They need a vote for that. What if there's objection?
But what they're moving to consider, no, because what they're moving to consider in quasi-committee of the whole is something that's allowed to be done in quorate. They're only allowed to consider those 4 motions. They can only recess, adjourn, fix the time to which to adjourn, or procedure actions to obtain a
But
quorum.
how did they get to the quasi-committee in the first place?
Because they're allowed to consider those items.
That's not what they're allowed to do. What I'm asking, how did they get into that committee?
But
back a step.
Yeah, no, I understand back a step, but it's just the procedure to do something you're allowed to do. I don't see any point
A
into
motion for consideration, quasi-committee in the whole is made to form like this. I move that the resolution be considered in a quasi-committee of the whole. That's by the assembly.
It's just a procedure. It's just like saying
you can't vote without a quorum, though. That's what I'm telling you.
You can for things that you're allowed to vote for without a quorum. If they move to go into quasi-committee of the whole to consider repainting the building, that would be improper because the ultimate goal is improper. But you're just talking about the procedure to do something they're allowed to do. We're not talking about the procedure to do something they're not allowed to do. It's quasi-committee of the whole in order to consider to fix the time to which to adjourn. They're allowed to do that. It's just like saying we could do it without objection. You're just talking about procedure.
Yeah. What type of motion is it to go into quasi-committee of the whole?
I know you keep going back to that, but
yeah,
that's just...
that's where it starts.
No, I disagree, and the other parliament, we're just going to have to disagree here. Well, JJ also says they could have had a quorum when they went to quasi-committee.
And what if they don't? The question specifically says
they don't. They don't, and I'm arguing that they don't, but that's just a procedure. Voting on a procedure to decide something you're allowed to decide is part of the decision of what you're allowed to decide.
But you can't decide if you don't have the right quantity of people to make the decision.
Yeah, but it's already carved out as an exception.
I think they got it wrong there.
I think you're majoring on minors.
No, it's called you got to do A to do B to do C, and the A doesn't exist.
I say it exists under the exception, but you got that one wrong. Let's just leave it at that. I understand you disagree. I disagree with a lot of things in Roberts. But
I disagree with it completely because you can't make a motion without a quorum. It's that simple.
You can make a motion to fix the time to which you adjourn.
Not without a quorum.
Yes, it says that right here. That's one of the exceptions. Then, without a quorum, then you end up having a meeting that you are required to have that you actually didn't have because you didn't have a quorum.
What's according to here, you also immediately adjourn because of.
But according to you, you can't adjourn because you don't have a quorum.
That's an immediate adjournment, which is that exception to that rule.
So you're accepting one exception, just not others.
You can't go into you can't refer to a committee without a quorum to do business in the first place. That's a fundamental procedure.
You can't adjourn if you don't have.
You can't convene if you don't have a
right.
quorum.
So according to you, you just blew the bylaws that require a meeting to be held on that date. And JJ's right. You could appoint a committee to have an action to take a quorum. You absolutely can. You can take actions to obtain a quorum.
That's called a quorum call. But anyway.
No, quorum call is just counting.
Also, get your asses in here to the meeting.
No, that isn't a quorum call. A quorum call is just a fancy term for count the number of people in the room. It has nothing to do with the actions to obtain a quorum. Hey, Allison. Okay, next question. Oh, I asked. And I used incorate properly. Look, I'm getting all... You see where I'm getting like, because you got me all upset. That's a hive I'm breaking out in.
And a hive, or you're just rubbing it too much?
No. I break out in rashes in debate. I don't like debating. I don't like... Look how red I'm getting. I don't like confrontation. I know people think I love it. I break out in hives and rashes.
I'm not trying to be confrontational. I just think that the way they're doing it.
No, I'm not saying it's you. It's me. People think I'm a very confrontational person, but I don't. That is exactly what happens. I'm starting to get really itchy. I don't like confrontation at all.
Call the house, says JJ.
Yeah, that's when you can arrest people.
Call the house says, get your ass in here.
That's when you can go out and arrest people. I wonder how long it's going to take for that rash to go away.
You quit rubbing it, it'll help.
No, it's not. I'm telling you, it's not that.
Anyway.
And some quatch says she gets those too.
All right. Since we're on the subject of fixing times of adjournment, here's the next question.
Okay.
The motion to fix the time to which to adjourn.
Mm-hmm.
A, adjourns this meeting. B, establishes the time for an adjourned meeting.
Mm-hmm. B.
C, sets the time for an adjournment of the meeting. Or D is the same motion as to fix the time. What? D is the same motion as to fix the time at which to adjourn.
What?
So, hang on, let me reread that.
Yeah.
Let me reread that because that last one doesn't make any sense.
The last one repeated the
That
first.
sounds like a tautology there.
Yeah.
Okay.
This circle goes round and round.
Okay. I'm just going to read the question with D alone, okay?
No,
Now tell me if this makes sense. The motion to fix the time to which to adjourn is the same motion as to fix the time at which to adjourn.
That makes no fucking sense.
And at versus to. But that doesn't make any
How
sense.
round is thy circle?
Oblate spheroid. Anyway.
I think it's B, but go on.
Okay. Let me go back to reread the question. The motion to fix the time to which to adjourn. A, adjourns this meeting.
No.
B, establishes the time for an adjourned meeting.
Yes.
C, sets the time for the adjournment of this meeting.
No.
D is the same motion as to fix the time at which to
No,
adjourn.
no. It's B.
It is B.
At which to adjourn is what
Versus
time
to
we're
which to
going to
adjourn.
dissolve.
Right.
B is it's basically continuing the same meeting.
Yeah, it is B.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what the problem
We fucked this up before.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why it's fucked up. Because the idea of the time to which to adjourn.
Yeah.
It should be a fixed time to which to reconvene.
Yeah, but that's I know. You and I, we had to learn this, and this was a
Yes.
couple of years ago. But
Because
yeah,
the
no,
wording is
got it.
totally jacked on that, because you're not fixing a time to which you're adjourning.
Yeah.
You're fixing time which you're restarting.
Yeah, adjourn is very equivocal in Roberts, and and that
It's
really,
an overloaded, abused word.
yeah, that
Simple terms.
they need different terminology. I've just grown to accept it.
Yeah.
At versus to
Two
is
the
key.
versus the one on B.
Yeah, see, that's one thing I don't like about Roberts is this arcana that creates the priesthood,
Yeah.
where you have so much writing on the words at or to. It's like with what I've become an unfortunate expert in, the removal of officers, whether or not your terms of office say and until or until. Nothing should ride.
The proof of it is words do matter.
But nothing should ride on such small words.
I agree.
That is what creates the priesthood, and that is what makes people fucking hate Roberts.
Yeah, because the time at which to adjourn, just to differentiate here, indicates when you're stopping this meeting.
Yeah. It needs to be, the terminology
versus
needs to be,
the time to which to adjourn
Yeah.
is actually the which time to reconvene for the next meeting.
yeah. And some squatch said, yeah. The language needs to be modernized to be accessible
And they
to
can,
your average
and in doing so,
person.
they
Oh,
can
God.
simplify it down a lot.
I'm getting so itchy. It is a hive. I'm breaking out in hives. You made me break out in hives, Mike.
I can make a very
Yes.
bad joke.
Technical
but-
point, Richard says an adjourned meeting is a separate meeting of this. Yes,
Yes,
but they
that's
could
true.
call
That's
it
true.
a reconvened meeting or something with a new terminology. The word adjourn carries
It's the wrong word for the situation.
yeah, it carries way too much weight. It's confusing to the average person.
Yeah.
And my goal is to make the
And
rules.
we went around on this years ago
Yeah, we
because
did.
it was confusing as hell.
Yeah.
Because why are we fixing a time to adjourn?
And
when we're
I
actually
only knew it
reconvening?
because I started studying for an exam.
Yeah.
But we need to stop using this terminology that's confusing to the average person. If we want Robert's rules to be embraced, it needs to be accessible and not with these weird exceptions, you know? I don't like the priesthood of knowledge, even though I'm like a member of it now.
You don't like the stovepipe.
Oh God, I'm breaking. You made me break out in hives.
You guys have Wayne bring down some chamomile motion?
Oh, people think I love debating. I don't. I'm glad now, like, with not very many clothes on, my physical reaction is becoming very obvious. That's what she said.
Not many clothes on. It's the new X-rated version of Temple. But But yeah, it actually is B. It establishes a time for an adjourned meeting.
Did I gave myself the point already?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
You did. So, I think you did. Yeah,
I did.
Yeah. Yeah, because adjourns a meeting and definitely is not the right answer.
But that's one of the priesthood things I don't like. All right, so I ask you now?
Yes.
And then I'm going to have to go pee after this.
TMI.
Everybody pees sometime. Where's my glasses?
I don't know.
I got plenty of... No, I don't. Got it. Oh my God, I've only got this much wine left.
How much was it going to start with?
That much? Well, not at the beginning of this meeting. I've been drinking since Happy Hour Friday. Oh, this is fun.
It's always happy hour somewhere. Anyway.
This is fun.
Yes.
A member who uses disorderly words in an assembly
Well, that's subjective.
can be removed by A, an order of the chair,
Yes.
B, a vote of the assembly,
Yes.
C, a vote of the assembly after trial,
Maybe.
D, a suspension of membership only.
No. Definitely not D. What was C again?
Vote of the assembly after trial.
That would be crazy. High priest on about the separate. Yeah, well, that part we actually spent a good amount of time, Richard, going over sessions versus.
Yeah,
meetings.
Alicia Matson was like such a. I'm trying to say a good word, but like in a bad way, like because I appreciate it, like anal retentive on the difference between session and meeting. Alicia Matson drilled that into me.
She was a drill sergeant on it.
I mean, she was great.
Yeah. And in our case, we went over it quite a bit, and to me, it makes perfect sense.
But yeah, I got that drilled into me by Alicia Matson.
Because I remember arguing that with the other bylaws
and there's
committee
a
about
big, like, it's important. But anyway,
it is. Because I remember they kept trying to change the words meeting and session in our bylaws, and I said, no, you ain't doing that.
Yep. Yeah, they don't understand the difference.
Right.
Okay, so you ready back here?
Okay.
JJ's commenting on YouTube, Richard.
Yeah. What's those? Hey, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know why y'all aren't seeing each other. I gotta pee.
Okay, we'll get the question again real fast. I know it's not the last one, so give me.
And we're on Saturday, so when I go pee, you could talk about Sunday.
Okay.
A member who used disorderly words in an assembly can be removed by A, an order of the chair.
Hopefully not. Yeah. B.
B, vote of. Oh, there's two separate streams.
Oh.
We have the Pink Flame of Liberty stream. And we have the Cult of RONR stream.
Aha! That's where we're getting the comments crisscrossed.
The Pink Flame of Liberty stream is where you can give super chats to buy us booze. Hint, hint. The Cult of RONR...
Hint, hint. She's going dry over here.
Yeah, the Cult of RONR doesn't have yet enough subscribers to have its own monetization. But please, listen... I forget to, you got to remind me this. Subscribe over at Cult of RONR because we're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. And once we have 1,000 subscribers, we won't simulcast. The only reason we simulcast on Pink Flame of Liberty is because we want super chats.
Yeah.
And we're not qualified for that yet over on Cult of RONR. Please subscribe at Cult of RONR.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, C, vote of assembly after trial. You already eliminated D, which is suspension of membership only.
Right, and suspension after trial sounds weird, so eliminate C. So that leaves A and B. A was by the chair, and B was by...
The assembly.
I'm going to go by the assembly.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need to... The chair just can't unilaterally throw someone out.
No, that would be massively ripe for abuse.
Yeah. Okay, here, you have Sunday.
Okay.
And then you'll get another question to catch up with
Sunday.
me. I will. And then I got to go... Empty la blada.
And put a little lotion on that.
No, I don't have that here. Oh, but it's so itchy. But let me finish this first. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Richard, I think JJ may be on the pink flame side.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay.
And now I'm getting cold again.
You have a heater right there.
I
Two
know.
heaters right there. Okay, well this one ties directly into the into Reno. It says, this is Sunday, May 10th. It's a quote, and then there's a citation of where it refers to. We haven't done Sundays in a while. By relieving the chair of responsibility in a strongly contested situation and placing it on the assembly itself, better relationships are often preserved. It says page 258, which is section 24, which is back here somewhere. Section 24, which is actually under appeal. So we're talking about appeals from the ruling of the chair. And in this case, it specifically talks about appropriateness of appeal. Here's the whole piece. If a member disagrees with a ruling of the chair affecting any substantial question, he should not hesitate to appeal. The situation is no more delicate than disagreeing with another member in debate. In the case of serious questions when proponents and opponents appear nearly equal, a presiding officer may welcome an appeal from his decision. By relieving the chair of responsibility in a strongly contested situation and placing the assembly on the assembly itself, better relationships are often preserved. Okay, what they're talking about here is that, okay, first of all, the idea of it's no more delicate than disagreeing with a member in debate. What they're saying here is that is all business, it ain't personal. The best way to keep that throughout convention, no matter what the hell's going on. It ain't personal, it's business. Jackie Perry, take a lesson. Nick Sarwark, take a lesson. Chris Thrasher, take a lesson. In the case of serious questions, when proponents and opponents are purely equal, the presiding officer may welcome an appeal from his decision. Now, a good chair will say, I'm not sure about this, let's throw it to the body to decide. Especially when it's nearly equal. Because it could go either way. It also is a way for the chair to punt away from it and say, look, I don't know what the right answer is, you guys sort it out. When in Reno, when the point of order was made about the continuing breach of the bylaws regarding Karen Ann's suspension, what Ken did, and this is an example, was he specifically said that he was going to rule the point not well taken, at which point they could appeal from the ruling of the chair and then bring it to the floor for a vote. That's perfectly valid. But what this is saying here is the other way to do it, to say that he could have punted this to the assembly itself without making a declaration of whether the point of order is valid or not. What he could have said was, well, actually, I take that back. I'm getting that wrong. This is exactly what he said. Was that the presiding officer may welcome an appeal. Ken did say exactly that. He said, I'm going to rule this point of order not well taken, but the assembly may appeal the ruling from the chair.
What are you talking about?
The point of order regarding the continuing breach of the bylaws and your suspension.
Oh, yeah.
Because the quote has to do with the chair punting it out to the assembly.
Yeah, but he didn't have to rule it.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, he could have just immediately referred it, but Ken didn't know that.
Right, but what this is saying here, in the case of serious questions when the proponents and opponents may appear nearly equal, the presiding officer may welcome an appeal from his decision.
Oh, yeah, and he did.
Right.
He didn't want to make that decision.
He explicitly said he was going to do that for the purposes of creating the appeal. Yeah. Which he can do.
But he didn't even have to rule. He could have just said, I'm unclear.
Right, but this is referring to what he did.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I'm just using that as a contextual example. So.
And by the way, so I did some research.
Uh-oh.
So because of that voiding, even though the LNC refused to accept it, I'm in my uninterrupted third term.
Okay.
I think, now I'm trying to remember.
Sure, because the point of order was a continuing breach of the bylaws, so that got voided out, so it's like it never happened in the first place.
So like it never happened.
Right.
So I'm on my uninterrupted third term.
Yeah.
I think, if I'm remembering correctly now, I did the research. I think I'm There has been a 4-term secretary, but I think I'm the only other.
It wasn't Sullentrop, was it?
Yes.
Okay. That was a guess.
He served for 4 terms.
Yeah.
I'm the only.
So you got really cranky at the end.
I'm the only uninterrupted 3-term secretary. Alicia served 3 terms, but they weren't uninterrupted.
They weren't consecutive, yeah.
Right, they weren't consecutive. She was elected, then defeated, then took over midterm from, I think, Ruth Bennett, who defeated her because something happened. Ruth got sick or something like that.
Yeah, that was back in the...
2014, I think.
Was it 2014?
I'm not sure, but here's what's weird, and I want people who were around then to let me know. I think Elpedia is wrong, because I know Ruth Bennett beat Alicia. Isn't that correct?
I think so.
But Elpedia lists David Blau as the secretary. I didn't think David was ever the secretary. Look, let's...
Okay, that would have happened sometime...
I don't want to go here.
It would have happened between 2010 and 2016, guaranteed.
Oh, yeah, but hold on. Let's go to Elpedia.
It didn't happen in 2010.
I didn't think David Blau was ever secretary.
Because Sullentrop ended in 2010. And I forget who.
No, I thought he ended in 2012.
No, 2010 he retired.
Well, we're going to look here.
Because he was in his hometown of St. Louis for that convention. I was there, and when he stepped down.
We'll look here. Yeah, you're right. 2010. Then Alicia Matson.
2012. Yeah.
But it has David Blau 2012 to 2014. That is not, I don't think, correct.
Just a touch more.
And then Alicia Matson, 2014 to 2018. I think she actually took over in 2013. I don't know. I'm asking people about this because I thought Ruth Bennett was secretary between Alicia's.
I wasn't doing national conventions between 2010 and 2018.
I don't think David was ever secretary, but I could be wrong.
I'm not sure about that one.
And then you'll see now it's got a footnote here.
Because in that period of time, I was still recovering from relocating back out of California.
So for me, it has 2018 to present, but it says Tim Hagen, fall 2021 through December 2021, and John Wilford, 421 to May 22nd, were selected by the LNC to serve as secretary during the period following the removal of Karen Ann Harlos on 5 September 21, but this removal was declared null and void at the 2022 National Convention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the footnote makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I'm not honestly sure, because from 2010 through 2018, I was not doing national conventions. So I am not a good source to indicate on that one way or the other. I don't know. I
think Alicia filled in somehow during here. But you can see Sullentrop was 2010 to 2002 to whatever. Yeah. Were there any other 3 terms? That's 1 term. I mean 2 terms.
2 terms.
That's 1 term.
That's a term and a half.
That's 2. Well, 2. Let's just call it.
And that's a term.
This is also 2.
That's 2. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Because that's when they switched over to the even.
This
numbers.
Is also 2. This is 1. This is 1. 2. 1, 1, 1,
yeah,
1, 1.
One of your terms back then. Yeah.
So I'm the only 3-term consecutive.
Right.
Alicia was 3-term non-consecutive. Bob Sullentrop is 4 terms consecutive.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
just interesting trivia.
As far as the David versus Ruth Bennett thing and that pair, I don't have a good answer. I don't know.
I'm going to have to ask somebody. I didn't think David was ever secretary.
I don't know. So.
I thought Ruth Bennett.
Ted Brown might know the answer to that question.
Well, I'm going to just go ask in the history stream. All right, let's go back to us. All right, so who's asking who?
You're asking me because I did that Sunday thing while you were out taking a leak.
And if somebody in chat knows, I didn't think David was ever secretary. Now, David's been around forever. He might have been, but I didn't think he was ever secretary.
I don't know. So I don't have an answer for that one.
All right, Monday the 11th.
Oh. A main motion is pending.
Okay.
A substitute is offered for the main motion.
Okay.
After a great deal of debate and a close voice vote, a counted vote is taken.
Okay.
The ayes...
Wait a minute. What are they voting on?
Well, let's continue.
Yeah.
The ayes for the substitute have 39.
Okay.
And the noes against the substitute have 19.
Okay.
What should the chair say?
So they're voting on the substitute for the main motion.
Yes.
And they're saying the ayes has had the majority 39 to 19.
Yes.
The chair should say that the substitute becomes the main motion because it passes.
Well, I'm going to give you the options now.
Okay.
A, the ayes have it and the substitute is adopted.
No.
Are there any further amendments to the original motion? B, the ayes have it and the motion to substitute is adopted. The question is now on the motion to ... C, the ayes have it because the substitute motion received a 2/3 vote. It is not necessary to take another vote. The substituted motion is adopted.
No.
D, the noes have it. Is there any further debate?
No. It's either
So
A or
you've ruled out C and D.
Yes, because it's not a 2/3 for
Yeah.
starters.
And-
That's not a 2/3 because it's a substitute to a main motion, which is a majority vote.
And it wasn't 2/3 anyway because 39 to 9 isn't 2/3. It would
39
be 40.
39 out of 58.
It'd be 40.
No, 39 out of 58, 2/3 would be 40.
Oh, yeah, that'd be correct. Never mind. But
Yeah.
it doesn't matter because it's not 2/3. It's a
Right.
majority. You're correct. So A or B?
So A was what again?
The ayes have it and the substitute is adopted. Are there any further further amendments to the original motion? B, the ayes have it and the substitute is adopted. The question is now on the motion to...
I got to go with B, and I'll tell you why. Because the way that A is worded, it makes it sound like it was passed in as the main motion at the same time, which doesn't make any sense. Because we all know that once the substitute becomes the main motion, it's still open for debate and amendment. So I'm saying B.
It is B, but I disagree with your reasoning.
Okay.
A would make it sound like after the substitute was adopted, you could still amend the thing that the substitute replaced.
What's the word?
That is the original
What's the
motion.
wording on A again?
The ayes have it and the substitute is adopted.
Yeah.
Are there any further amendments to the original
Right,
motion?
which doesn't make any sense.
Right,
Yeah, that
because
didn't make
the
any
substitute
sense.
just replaced it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you're correct. It's B.
Yeah.
So when you have a substitute, it
Substitute
becomes the
becomes
main
the main,
motion.
right.
So the correct thing is to say the question is now on, and then you just restate what
Yeah,
the substitute
or the
was.
the substitute passes is now the main motion,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
Which is actually the clear way to say it, which I think you say it as a matter
That's
of
how I
course.
say it. Yeah,
And
to
it's
keep
a-
things clear.
And it's a good way to say it.
Because I freaking love substitutes.
Well, yeah, that's your department. So I got it right. Good.
You did. Substitutes are my jam.
Well, that's not told you.
They are my belly button jam.
You're the
This
naval
is the
academy for that.
last of my wine. That should be a crime.
Why is it a crime?
Because I have no more wine and I don't have any Fireball.
Well,
but I
then go get some
do.
cheese with your wine.
But I do have cherry vanilla rum.
Ugh.
Oh, it's delicious. Do you like rum?
I can't like cherry.
No, do you like rum though?
Sometimes.
It's more vanilla than cherry.
Sometimes. I'm not a
Do you?
fan.
Hold on, we're gonna get nasty. Do you like cherries?
Not those cherries.
She's my cherry pie. Oh, you know
I
that
don't
band.
like the fruit cherry. And you're talking
That
about
band would be so politically incorrect.
Oh,
now.
Warrant? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, when you had songs that were hits like that one, plus the one called Uncle Tom's Cabin.
And then was it Winger that had She's Only 17?
Yes, that was Winger.
Woo!
Trivia question: Where's Kip Winger from?
Oh, I don't know.
Golden.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
But my God, he'd be called a pedophile today
Mm-hmm.
with 17.
Actually, if you look at the lyrics of the song, when he found out she was 17, he actually shied away from her.
Oh, I don't know that. I just know that she said,
Lyrics.
Daddy says whatever, but she's old enough for me, he says in the song.
Yeah.
Daddy says I'm too young, but she's old enough for me. That would not be accepted
Well,
today.
Yeah.
So Winger would be a bunch of pedophiles today.
Yeah. Okay. Rock music aside.
Yeah, not even getting into any of that.
Yeah. In a committee elected by ballot.
I saw them live, by the way.
I'm sorry.
I liked Winger, but I did not like that song. That song felt very predatory. Even when probably it would have been socially acceptable, that felt fucking predatory.
Well,
a bunch of band members going
well,
after a 17-year-old.
That's true, but his song Miles Away was this ultimate whine fest about a breakup.
I don't even remember that. I saw him at the Palm Beach Amphitheater, which ended up being a big Jehovah's Witness Kingdom Hall later. They bought it, and that's where they... No, it wasn't before.
I was going to say, wait a
No,
minute.
no, but they bought it, and they
Jehovah's
end up having
Witnesses?
their... they don't call it Easter service. They call it their memorial services there.
I was sitting here going, Kip Winger?
Yeah. But I never...
Is that a Kip Winger concert?
I never liked that song 17. That just felt so frickin' predatory.
Oh, yeah. Okay. In a committee elected by ballot, the position of chairman, A, is never selected by the committee members.
Wait, stop. Go again?
In a committee elected by ballot,
A committee elected by ballot.
yes, the position of chairman, I'm assuming of the committee here, A, is never selected by the committee members. B, can be treated as a separate position to be voted for on the same ballot with the other committee members. C, can be elected from among the committee's members on a second ballot after the names have been announced. Or D, both B and C are correct.
D.
Which?
Wait, D, I said.
You said D. Okay, just making sure because you changed your mind.
No, because I got confused because I'm drinking.
It is D.
Yes.
Now, we've seen B before.
Which is, yes.
A separate position voted on the same ballot because they pulled that crap at the bylaws committee in LPCO a few years ago.
I'm too drunk to even think about that right now.
And,
Ooh, I'm like super drunk right now.
And C can be elected after one of the committee's members on a second ballot after names. Yeah, same
I
thing.
haven't eaten a damn thing.
And actually, C is a better process.
I've drinking half a bottle of this now, and I've eaten nothing. Oh, you can take advantage of me now, baby.
Is Wayne cooking?
Wayne's not here, I don't think. I think he went out. He's buying dye for my hair. He's got to dye my hair tonight.
He's going to Walmart.
Yeah, he went to Walmart
They
and
have,
had to buy
they have the dye there?
Yeah, they do. They have a good beauty department.
I'll be damned. I didn't know that.
Oh, I'm so drunk right now. I hope the sober caucus isn't watching.
Why are you doing blonde mating calls when you have pink hair?
Ooh, and we got no super chat, so I'm not going to be able to buy any more wine.
If the scratch-offs work upstairs...
I think I'm going to need to raise some money. Now, who's what? Tell me where I'm at. Do that again. Boom, ba, 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 boom, ba. Hold on. No, wrong one.
Objection, speculative.
Oh, no.
Objection, speculative.
No, I got a better one.
You do?
Oh, that's not on this stream. I need to add that. Unauthorized recording? What a man. How that dude...
How to get demonetized in a hurry?
How Nick has any credibility when he threatened to call the police because some dude ran into him by accident. I'm sorry, what a little bitch.
You know what the funny thing was on that? I was just talking to the security guard right before that happened on the other side of the stage. And I was walking back towards the teller pit when that went down. The next thing I know, I got run over by that security guard from behind.
People don't know it. The day before, I was talking to the same security. Were you there? When Nick had somebody who was following him around that somebody thought was Nick's bodyguard, but it wasn't official. He was just following Nick around like a little puppy.
Yeah.
And this person was recording Nick. And that quote-unquote bodyguard shoved this person. This person was really upset, and it was a legitimate, purposeful shove.
Yeah.
And he came to me complaining. And you want to know what I said to that guy? Are you hurt? Let it go. And the security was watching, and I was almost getting them convinced to become libertarians, because I was like, really, you want to call the police? Is it worth somebody dying over? You know, when you call the police, somebody could die.
Right.
ask the black community that. And one of the security guards was a black guy.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he was like, oh my God, mama has it.
Yeah.
You know what's going on in the world. And I had those people almost convinced to become libertarians. And then Nick, like a little bitch the next day, calls the police and ruined all the groundwork
Okay,
I
that
did.
security guard is not the one I was talking about.
Okay, no, there
was a white
there
guy,
was a
was a
really
blonde-haired white
cool.
guy.
There was a really cool black guy there. He had braids.
I didn't
I don't
see
know if you
him,
saw
but-
him.
no.
He was super cool, and maybe he did become a libertarian.
He might have.
Because I wasn't playing to the crowd. I was saying what I legitimately felt, and then I looked over and saw this guy who was going, "Yeah, you don't call the police. Handle your own shit."
Well, in my case, I mean, he literally, just seconds later, he ran over me. He says, "Excuse me, get out of the way." I was like, "Wham!" I was like, "What?"
No, you handle your
And
own
I'm like-
shit.
I'm like,
you
oh.
don't be a little bitch and call the police.
Yeah. Well, in my case, I was like, "Bam! What?" Oh, you're doing your job. Fine.
And what
whatever.
makes it
You know?
even funnier is I was legitimately assaulted in 2016. Nick ignored it his entire time, and I never asked for the police to be called. Whereas I was menaced and physically touched
You should have
with a
asked.
sign in my face by at least a 250-pound man.
You should have asked to borrow Nick's purse so you could beat him off.
And I never wanted the police to be
No, I know.
involved. And you got a 250-pound man against a 140-pound woman.
Yeah. I mean, in my case, I was like, he ran over me, and I'm like, oh,
Right, it's you next, right?
he's just doing his job. Fine.
Meanwhile, you got two men who
just-
just bump
I
shoulders.
just shrugged it off, like, okay, whatever.
You don't call the police, man. It's like,
Yeah. I mean, and I've seen, everybody who's anybody has seen the footage of what happened. It was
And-
horseshit.
my whole concern with my assault in 2016, it wasn't even to punish anybody. It was just to have proper protocols in place so we never had to call the police.
Yeah. Okay. Assault, convention, and batteries assigned. Okay. On the motion to amend, here we go again, takes precedence over the motion to postpone to a certain time. Colon. A, if a motion to amend is pending.
Wait, stop. I'm way too fucking drunk for this question. So you have a motion to amend.
Yes. Takes precedence over the motion to postpone to a certain time.
And the motion to postpone to a certain time, it would carry with it the amend and the original motion.
Yes.
Okay.
So far, so good. If a motion to amend is pending,
You would have to have it pending. Doesn't that presume that in the original question?
I would think so, yeah. B, if it is a motion to amend the motion to postpone while it is immediately pending.
What? I'm confused. And so the postpone would take precedence. I am so.
C, under no circumstances. That should be the easy answer. And D, if it is a privileged motion to amend.
I don't.
Okay, let me see if I can.
Yeah, this
Let me see
makes
if I
no
can unpack
sense.
this a little bit. Let me see if I can unpack this a little bit. Okay. You have a motion to postpone to a certain time.
Right.
Okay. The motion to made is a motion. A motion is made. I can talk. To amend that motion to postpone to a certain time.
Okay, so it's not a previously made motion to amend.
No.
So you have a motion to postpone, and then somebody makes a motion to amend the motion to postpone.
Wait a minute. Am I reading that right? Hold on. Stop. Let me make sure I'm not saying it wrong because this is a little
This
complicated.
is fucked up.
Okay. The motion to amend something, doesn't say what,
Yeah.
takes precedence over the motion to postpone to a certain time. If a motion to amend is pending.
No.
B, if it is a motion to amend the motion to postpone
Yes.
while it is immediately pending. C, under no circumstances, or D, if it is a privileged motion to. What the hell is a
B.
What the hell is a privileged motion to amend?
It's B.
It is B.
Yes, you can amend the motion to postpone,
And that would
you
take
have
precedence.
to settle the motion to amend before you get to the motion to postpone,
Right.
because it may be amended.
But if it is a motion to amend something else,
Right. Then it would.
as you said before, it
Yeah,
carries
it would
with
carry with it. It would
Yeah.
adhere. Okay, God, that
But
was
what-
worded
but-
fucked
yeah, well,
up.
It was. But what the hell is a privileged motion to amend?
JJ, is there a privileged motion to amend?
I've never heard of that.
I don't think there's
That's not saying it doesn't exist. I've never heard of it.
I don't think there's a privileged motion. Is there?
Now I'm going to look at amend because I'm wondering myself.
I don't think there's a privilege, but I'm super drunk right now. Where's Wayne? I need more wine.
I suggest there's beer in the fridge, but I don't think you want to mix those.
Oh, I don't mind mixing. I just don't like any of the beers that are in there.
There's nothing that I see about it being privileged.
No, there is not a privilege motion to amend. Thank you, JJ.
Thank you, JJ. I didn't think so, because there's no mention of it.
JJ, you can answer a question for me. Okay, I understand NAP, not the non-aggression principle. I do understand
National
that.
Association of Parliamentarians.
Yes, I only say NAP because I know they hate it.
I knew what you meant.
So you got, you're registered parliamentarian, you're certified parliamentarian. What are like the levels in AIP? Is it just one level, certified parliamentarian? And if so, what do you got to do that? Because I want to collect some credentials.
You want to have this eye chart behind your name, right?
I want to have the same initials as JJ, without being JJ. I mean the initials following his name.
Yeah.
And Alicia,
you want the RP, CRP, PRP,
right?
etc.
And Alicia doesn't have that, and I'm so fucking competitive.
Yes, you want CP, RP, PRP, ESQ.
Certified and professionally certified. Now, crap, I'm losing names, and I love him. Oh, who's our Colorado parliamentarian for conventions?
Goddard.
Mark Goddard has AIP and NAP.
Yeah, he's on vacation in Oregon at the moment.
But he doesn't have PRP and whatever that other thing is.
Yeah.
Where's he at?
He's on vacation in Oregon right now.
Okay. He is such a sweetheart.
He is.
He's got the coolest house. Have you been to his home?
No, I'm not.
Okay. He's got a house in Colorado Springs, did you know?
Manitou West Side.
Yeah.
I know that much.
He's digging out the basement himself.
That's crazy.
He's been doing it for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And he showed me down there, and he's like, it's nice cold storage for hookers.
The response is, isn't that what got you in trouble in Golden?
So I took my RP exam there, but before we started the timing, because he was the proctor for me. But he's like, oh, so he has this latch door, and he's like, yeah, I've been digging out the basement. Good cold storage for hookers.
How the hell do you get service points, JJ?
Volunteer, I guess.
I know what they are, but how do you get them in this case?
What do you have to do? Because a friend of mine told me, and tell me if you might not be able to say this. You might be restricted, even though you're retired now. I don't want you to get removed.
How can they remove him? He's retired.
I don't know, but it'd be funny if I ended up having to defend JJ.
What are they going to do? Take away his birthday?
Wouldn't that be? That would be turnabout is fair play, wouldn't it? Like it'd be repaying a debt if JJ ended up getting in trouble and I had to defend him. I forgot what I was going to say now.
The term you're looking for is quid pro quo.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? How do you get service points?
Anyway, it's interesting.
Yeah, here.
Oh, it's me asking you?
I've been waiting for you to...
Yeah. Education, taking courses, participating in certain positions. Ooh, la la. Let's go back here.
That's what she said.
Wow, wow.
We don't have Doc Sexy here, though.
So?
Just saying.
That's
okay.
His loss.
I want to get, and this isn't, well, we can make it dirty. We can make it dirty.
You just did before you said anything.
I know. But those giant sparklers? I mean, they're long.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They're long and strong and want to get the friction on. But you know what I'm talking about. I want to get some of those. It's on their website. I haven't looked at the website in a while. Okay, now I know JJ can't comment on this, but somebody told me, and I won't say who, that AIP is actually on the ascendancy, and that NAP, a lot of people consider them to have gone astray.
Gone astray how? What's the question?
Went to serve the board rather than the members.
Okay.
I'm trying to put things kindly.
Well, no, actually, I understand what you're getting at there, and I can sort of see that.
But I don't see that. I've attended a lot of their meetings, and to be honest with you, I don't see that at all.
Yeah, but you may not be seeing what's going on between the meetings.
I might not, but I could just tell you what I've heard is that members are kind of flocking to AIP now.
Well,
I personally don't see that, but that's what I've been told.
Putting the ebb and flow of these things aside, but if there is a generational gap between the leadership of the NAP folks and the rest of the membership, it's very easy for that to happen and cause a migration.
It seems to me the generation's the same.
I'm not so sure, but.
And Richard says NAP membership is growing. I'm just saying what I heard from some people.
Yeah.
You know, and this was in private discussions because apparently NAP is having their educational conference this year, and AIP is having some kind of conference. Mm-hmm. And I was talking with somebody if they were going to NAP, and they said no, they're going to AIP because AIP is kind of where it's at now, and people are abandoning NAP. Now, I haven't personally seen that. I'm just saying what I was told.
I guess what I've observed is the authors have been on the they're getting long in the tooth, to be polite.
What, an NAP?
Yeah.
Probably AIP is the same way, but
I can't speak to them, but it seems to me that also lends because Balch was old back in 2010.
Yeah, but he's not the board. Have you looked at the board of NAP lately?
The authors, though, is where I'm going.
Oh no, I'm talking about the board of directors. Something that will surprise people about NAP is the preponderance of African Americans. To me. Parliamentary procedure seems about as white as it can get, like boring.
Yeah, because of Colonel Henry Robert and his descendants.
But it's not.
And Hahnemann, yeah.
It is not. NAP has more of a representation of African Americans than the general population, and not just African Americans, women, female African Americans are large and in charge of NAP.
Which raises an
The
interesting.
chair is a female African American woman, and I like her. She
Okay.
runs good meetings.
I'm going to ask a dumb question then. Okay, and I this is not. I don't know the answer to this, or if there even is a good answer to it. What would attract that demographic?
I don't know, but every unit, because I'm a member of the Beta Cavaliers in Colorado, there are so many African Americans involved that it shocked me. And I don't know why that is. I got to learn the culture, I guess, better.
Yeah.
But I think that's good.
Oh no, I'm not complaining.
No,
about
there's a
it. No
ton
way.
of women. If I had to guess before I joined, I would have thought it would have been a bunch of elderly white men.
Yeah, I can understand.
It's
why you say
middle-aged black women.
that. Yeah, which again, it goes to the question: what's drawing that demographic? And it's not a criticism. Of
Yeah,
anybody.
I have no idea.
I think there's something underlying that as to the why. Which
I know.
I'd be
super interested.
Yeah, it's a very interesting issue.
Yeah.
Because not an issue, an interesting question. Because the idea is there's something happening there.
Yeah, more women in general, but minority women.
Yeah, and that's true, but
Okay, JJ says something that I wouldn't know. He said African American women tend to be more involved in groups, especially sororities. Since I went to community college. I didn't go to regular college. I was never involved in a sorority.
my
so
alma
I wouldn't know.
didn't have sororities anyway.
Now, is that true for black men? Are they involved in fraternities?
Yeah,
I've always thought
they're called
fraternities were
sports
white
teams.
guys.
They're called sports teams.
No, but I always thought like your typical frat boy was a white guy.
A lot of them are, but it depends on the frat. Because if they're pardon the expression, if they're jock frats, you have more of the African American types.
And and Richard Brown says NAP was founded by women, and all of its early presidents were.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting.
But
were they minority women? I'm asking Richard.
Yeah.
Now, what I haven't seen, when I say minority women, I'm specifically talking about black women.
Sure.
I haven't seen a lot of Hispanic women or Asian women.
But because the thing with colleges, at least from my expertise on it, was that a lot more of your, and I'm going to say this in a specific way, a lot of your geeky, nerdy frats are a lot more white kids.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. So JJ says it's always been more female, and Richard Brown said the early women founders were white women. But I'm telling you now, there are disproportionate amount of black women.
Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here a little bit, but bear with me. Detract.
I'm not giving. I'm actually proud of that. So this isn't detractor.
Unless he's warning me.
Oh, I'm saying I'm like very pleasantly surprised.
I got no issue with it.
No, I know you don't have an issue with it, but like I'm very pleasantly surprised and proud of the fact that, to me, in my experience with NAP, the majority of people are black women.
Okay, I'm gonna give a perspective here, and it's a little stereotypical, and I apologize for that in advance. I know it doesn't apply to everybody.
I'm kicking your ass, and I'm a woman.
Well, yeah, but
I think I've proved it.
You know that rash, yeah.
I don't have a rash anymore. You know, well, it's a little bit, but it's kind of calmed down.
She's busy rubbing the wrong boob.
Well, because of the mirror, you know, the flip effect.
But in general, okay, and this is not across the board, women are wired mentally in a way to be more emotional and nurturing, and they think in webs more than sequential. I'm not saying it's for everybody, okay? But guys are a lot more sequentially and process oriented these days. That's why there's a lot more guys. There's a lot more guys in what I do in the world in software than there are women. That's not a criticism. It's not. It's a commentary upon different ways of thinking. And to me,
you are such a sexist.
No, I'm not being sexist. There's actually plenty of research on this. Okay. But the thing of it, that's about nurturing. But anyway. That's about nurturing.
I'm gonna clip that out. I totally destroyed. You were like.
But the thing of it is. But the thing of it is that parliamentary procedure, at least the way I read these things and the way I think about these things, is very. I deliberately not looking at you. It's very sequentially structured. Okay, A then B because of this produces that, you know. And if you've played a lot of D&D type games or Magic the Gathering, which I do, or similar,
I love D&D.
You have great parallels between that and this. To me, this tailors towards a sequential way of doing things, which in a broader sense seems to be contraindicative of the nurturing web-based thinking of women, which is why this is a little surprising to me. Now, I could be completely wrong on this, and there may be something else that draws them in. I don't know. It could be the community aspects of it, which is a nurturing thing. Okay. I'm not sure.
I could bait you right now.
You could do it.
Well, besides
that, yeah.
There's that big video right now with Matt Walsh. Have you heard about it?
I have not, actually.
Matt Walsh put out a video called "What is a Woman?"
Oh, God.
And no one could define it.
Didn't they bother looking at a biology text?
I'm just saying.
Sorry, but...
Okay, I think I got this all out of order.
Probably. But where I was going with all that is that, for me,
Look, we summoned the D&D caucus.
Yeah, really. To say, the different ways of thinking about these things.
We should get a bunch of libertarians here to do live D&D.
I don't do D&D. I do Magic together.
Okay,
the same company owns both, but
Colorado libertarians out there, we should do a live D&D.
Give me a second here.
You got to fix that. Yeah, I know you're cheating right now, but I'm too drunk to care.
I'm trying to find the dates correct because they're all over the damn place. Because here's the 13th, which is over here.
The first meeting of the Libertarian Titty Caucus is now in session.
That's the 17th.
And your thing just went blank. Oh.
Probably the baseball thing.
Oh, I'm hungry now.
Okay. We can play Commander in D&D Caucus. I'll do that.
Okay. Do you have those in order?
I do now.
Okay, I need to just check my emails, and then I might need to get some rum to get super shit-faced.
You mean you're not already?
No, well, I'm getting there. No more secretary emails. That's good.
Junk mail.
Yeah. I don't need that. And then the updated index. What's this updated index about, JJ? 10th edition. Oh, the opinions. Oh, got it. Oh, that's useful. I'll save that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. It cross-references
Yeah.
that Parliament Opinions 2 back to the 10th edition
Yeah, I'll
for
save
a reference
that.
point. You have a copy of 10 floating around somewhere, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
I do.
Yeah.
Look, January 6th insurrection, prosecute Trump. I subscribe to all these left newsletters.
I just troll them all on Twitter.
Computer share has an opportunity for you. I don't even know what that
Computer
is.
share, loan modification. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
fuck that.
That's like mortgages and shit.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Okay. Let's go back to our Why isn't it going? There we go.
Okay. We just had this one.
What is it? The one I asked you?
Yeah, the motion to amend.
Yeah, that's you.
No, I just asked you this question. Remember we were talking about this one with
Oh, so it's at me now?
Yes.
No, but I'm supposed to be odd.
I just asked you this
Okay,
question
well,
because you
okay.
got it right.
I don't know what we fucked up.
Anyway, that's what she said. Yo, you're fucked up because of that.
Okay. Which of the
It's the following what?
may not be laid?
That's not what she said.
Okay, which of the following may not be laid on the table?
A drunk Karen Ann.
Oh, I can be laid on the table quite easily at this point.
I'm gonna pick you up first.
A debatable motion that doesn't adhere.
You missed that
Okay, we
joke
got it.
completely.
No, I got it.
What about picking you up?
I got it. Okay, which of the following may not be laid on the table? A.
Be careful, you'll pop out of your corset.
A debatable appeal that doesn't. This is too complicated. Which of the following?
See this? My eyes are shut. I'm listening.
Okay, which of the following may not be laid on the table? A debatable appeal that does not adhere to immediately pending main motion.
Debatable appeal that does not adhere to an immediately pending main motion.
B.
That's a mouthful. Okay, B.
A debatable appeal that adheres to immediately pending main motion.
Okay.
C. An undebatable appeal that doesn't adhere to immediately pending main motion. D.
Are there undebatable appeals?
There are.
Okay.
An appeal from a ruling on a motion to suspend the rules, for instance.
Okay.
Since the underlying motion is not debatable, the appeal is not debatable.
That's right. I keep forgetting that. Okay.
That just happened in the minutes.
Okay. D.
D. An undebatable appeal that adheres to immediately pending main motion. Motion to adjourn until noon tomorrow. I feel sorry for you.
Give me that D again.
Do you want to start from the beginning?
Yeah, please.
Okay, let me put this aside because my pants are coming off. I mean, I gotta, tie them up. Hold on.
That's what she said.
Hold on.
No, wait a minute.
Okay, those
Objection,
don't know.
speculative.
I've got, these, I don't know if you can see what I got going on here. Okay. All right.
Side ties.
Yeah. All right, let's start again.
Okay.
Because I don't know the answer to this. I don't even understand the question, but I'm super drunk. Which of the following may not be laid on the table? Got that. You can't lay something on the table.
That part of the question makes sense.
Okay. A debatable appeal.
Things are getting a little PG-13. Man, we're losing it.
Yeah, it needs to be R.
At least.
A debatable
NC-17.
A debatable appeal that does not adhere to immediately pending main motion.
Okay.
I don't even know what that would be. I think that would be like the appeal that was raised regarding my suspension that didn't adhere to immediately pending main motion.
Because that was adhering to a point of order.
It was about a continuing breach of the bylaws.
Which was a point of order, not raised, not a...
But an appeal
That's
on
not-
that point of order.
But that wasn't a main motion.
Right.
Okay.
B, a debatable appeal that adheres to immediately pending main motion. So somebody made a motion.
That actually makes
somebody
sense.
raised a point of order.
that
Somebody appealed that point of order.
That's a very typical case, right.
C, an undebatable appeal that doesn't adhere to immediately main motion. I can't even think of an example of that right
You
now.
mentioned earlier about the suspension of the rules.
That would be an undebatable appeal that adheres to immediately pending main motion, which is number D. But they give the example of motion to adjourn until noon tomorrow, which is the suspension of the rules. I don't know the answer to this.
The answer is which one of these
cannot be laid on the table.
All right, let's back this up. Lay on the table means that it is basically put aside until at some point later where it is taken from the table and then addressed.
And typically, well,
go ahead.
Pursuant to the rules, you're only supposed to lay on the table because you need absolutely to dispose of something else. That's an emergency kind of.
Something more urgent.
More urgent,
or
right.
Time pending.
Right,
time,
before
time
you
critical.
can deal with the issue.
Right.
Though people abuse lay on the table all the time.
Right. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Okay. So, in other words, they wanted to take it and they wanted to set it aside for now and deal with it later.
Objection, speculative.
Right. So, they're saying which one of these you can't do
lay on
that.
the table.
Okay. So the typical one was B, where you have an appeal from the ruling of the chair in regards to a main motion.
That adheres to a main motion.
That attaches to a main motion. So, like a point of order was raised in regards to a main motion. The chair said it wasn't timely, and the appeal was made on that point.
Right.
Right. Okay. A was the one that wasn't attached to a main motion. Right.
Right.
Which goes back to the same idea.
What
without the
doesn't
main motion on the front
a
end.
debatable appeal that doesn't adhere to a main motion.
Right. C was an undebatable appeal that doesn't attach to a main
Right.
motion. And then D was an
An undebatable appeal that adheres.
Yeah, so it's all four, so pick one of the four possible
Yes.
combinations is what it comes down to. Okay. And the idea is which one of these you can't lay on the table.
Oh, I'm so drunk. I'm gonna throw up. I haven't eaten anything. Where's Wayne?
To be fair, I don't know what the answer to this question is.
I need food.
Logically speaking, and I could be totally way the hell off base on this one, is that a debatable motion or debatable JJ is not even sure.
Oh my God.
A debatable appeal, I would say,
Your
yeah.
belly showing?
Yes, I know. It's a bouncing baby beer keg. But anyway, it seems to me that if you have a debatable appeal, whether it attaches to a main motion or not.
Okay, JJ wants to try. Yeah, let JJ try.
Yeah, that's fair. Go ahead, JJ. Take a shot. Make me a sandwich.
I'm going to have you call Wayne in a minute and say he needs to bring some food because I'm about to pass out. Let's see what JJ says.
Let's see what JJ says first before I continue.
See if Wayne, call Wayne. Say we need some food and some sparklers. Okay, JJ says C, but we're going to call Wayne. So JJ says an undebatable appeal that doesn't adhere to immediately pending main motion. We're going to call Wayne, and then Mike's going to give his guess. See, look, my rash went away. I'm all kind of a little bit red there. That's more from being...
What do you want?
Food!
Your drunk wife needs food.
And rum.
And sparklers.
And rum and sparklers.
Well, we have rum. I don't have any sparklers, and I'm not inclined to go get any sparklers, but I can start lunch if you want.
Are you upstairs?
I am. I'm sitting here talking to your wife and son.
Oh.
We don't have any sparklers for tonight?
I can make some. I got some newspaper and a lighter.
Oh, God. Okay, what's for food?
We need M86s.
Hamburgers. We're doing hamburgers. I bought all the supplies for hamburgers.
Okay, I'm hungry.
And corn. Oh, yeah, I have corn, too.
I'm hungry. And we need sparklers.
And M86s.
Well, we don't have sparklers, but we do have hamburgers.
Okay.
What is my wife yelling at me?
And rum.
Well, we have that.
Will you bring rum?
I already have it. It's here. I don't have to go get it.
No, will you bring it down here?
Jackie Sparrow says bring the rum.
Do you have a glass?
Yes.
You have a glass.
Because I finished
it's,
all...
It's empty. That's the problem.
I finished all the sangria. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right, so JJ says C. JJ says an undebatable appeal
Undebatable.
that doesn't adhere to immediately pending main motion.
And I was leaning towards undebatable in the first. No. Well, okay, wait a minute.
I know.
We're saying which can't be laid on the table.
Which can't.
If you take a debatable, I'm going to try to come at this from a different direction.
And I'm too drunk to even know what the fuck to say.
Okay. It seems to me that if you have an undebatable or a debatable appeal.
You'd be surprised how much getting your feet wet cools your whole body down.
You playing in the kiddie pool again?
You finished this whole thing?
I did.
Wow.
Playing in the kiddie pool again?
Say that again?
Playing in the kiddie pool again?
Well, no, I got the pressure washer out and the O-rings have failed, so I need to get new O-rings for the pressure washer. It's squirting all over my feet.
I want to tell you something funny. So, Mike here, he's talking to me, and then he keeps going,
Well, she keeps talking to me and she goes down here, so, you know.
No, he keeps going.
Well, what do you expect when you're wearing something like that? I don't think I've ever seen that thing before.
Oh, yeah, no. You've helped me in it before.
Which thing are you referring to, Wayne?
No, you've helped me in it before. It's the one with the zipper.
I don't remember that.
I'm not wearing it, though, to distract Mike, though. That's funny.
But you're succeeding in it anyway.
It's my back. You know how much in pain I am.
Well, I know you need to be in a corset of some sort.
Yeah. All right, when's food? I'm hungry.
Well, not a minute before it's done. I haven't started it yet.
What about sparklers?
I told you I could make one out of a piece of rolled up newspaper.
I want one of
and
those big
I
sparklers.
need M86s.
they're illegal right now.
I don't
So?
care.
Wayne, if you're relying
You're gonna
upon Wayne,
make a mess.
it is the 4th
Okay,
of
Wayne.
it is the 4th of July. If you're
No.
relying upon a government restriction
Wayne.
to celebrate the day that we
people
seceded from
can't
government,
see
you're
you.
doing
You
it
need
wrong.
to come over here because I want to ask you a question. So come in the middle here.
People want to ask me a question?
Yeah, they
Good
said you're-
gosh, you got a heater going on
I do.
here?
Don't do that. I'm
We
freezing.
have the air conditioner on in the house
the-
and the heater going at the same
Okay.
time.
Okay.
I forgot what I was going to ask you now. I'm too drunk. Oh, what did you say when I picked up that rock? And you said government. You said you can't steal government property.
Yeah.
And what did I say?
You said government property can steal government property or something. to that
Yeah, I
effect.
said, how can government property steal government property?
You need to post the pictures from that hike. That was a good hike.
That was a different hike. I'll post the new ones.
We did see the video you were stumbling in the snow while you were high centered.
So oh yeah, I showed him the.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
I
You
deleted.
got a video of that?
I deleted it because it didn't
Why?
come out well.
Oh.
It was very loud, but were you winching up? Okay,
Winching
All
or
right.
winching or winching?
both.
Yes.
Okay, when's food? I'm hungry.
Well, not until it's done, but I'll let you know when it's done. It's probably going to be 15, 20 minutes. Well, half an hour because we're doing corn too.
Okay. No, don't.
Excuse me. Wayne, cook the food.
All right, now I got rum, and he's walking like a Clydesdale. It's making the whole camera bump. All right.
Okay, now-
Oh, smell this.
Smells like cough syrup.
You want to try it?
No.
But take a little sip.
I don't do cherry anything.
Yeah, but you might like this. Take a little sip,
No.
please.
Okay, I'll try a little
Okay.
sip.
He's so nice.
I don't like cherry anything.
You might like
And
this.
there's a reason why I like cherry.
Just a
I have
tiny-
bad memories of cherry cough syrup.
Just a tiny sip. If you don't like it, that's okay. It's really good.
For rum, not bad.
It's real. It is good for
It'd be
rum.
better if it was strawberry.
But doesn't it taste more vanilla than cherry?
I can still taste the cherry.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking a little sip. And for everyone who's curious, here you go. Captain Morgan's Cherry Vanilla. It's delicious. I love rum.
Okay, back to the original.
Super
question.
chats! I need more. Look. Rum doesn't grow on trees.
It doesn't?
Look, I'm showing you my boobs and everything.
Anyway.
Okay, go
Back
ahead.
to the original question here. Where I was trying to go with this whole thing was that, to me, a debatable appeal, whether it's attached to a main motion or not, sounds to me like something that you would not want to lay on the table because that's just shutting down the debate,
Well, you're going to get to it later.
supposedly. Remember what we said earlier about it being
Yeah,
subject
you don't
to
have
abuse.
to.
Undebatable.
It's going into my armpits. And I'm trying to distract you so you lose.
You are getting sleepy. No, undebatable, on the other hand, doesn't have that ability to be what's the term I'm looking for?
Okay, I think we just need to guess at this point.
To interrupt the debate is what I'm trying to say. I'm hearing coughing. Which of the choices were the ones about
Undebatable?
About debatable.
Debatable was A and B.
And
So A
Is doesn't adhere, and B is does adhere. And JJ guessed C, which is undebatable that doesn't adhere.
he says undebatable doesn't. See, I'm thinking that's the one that could be laid on the table. I'm going to say B, which is debatable. Wait,
that adheres.
no, which one doesn't adhere?
A.
That one.
You should have went with JJ.
He's right. Let's see. Okay.
I always go with JJ, even when I say he's wrong.
Excuse me one moment, folks.
And
There's a
JJ
weird
says
tickle right here.
it can't be laid on the table because it isn't debatable. Because you go to immediate vote. Remember, the whole purpose of laying on the table.
Oh, I hadn't thought of it from that perspective, but
That's
yeah.
why. Because laying on the table is because there's going to be some things that take up time.
Yes.
And you need to get to something else first.
To
But something that's not debatable isn't really going to take up time.
I hadn't thought of it from that perspective, but I see the point.
Yeah. So then you'd have to go between adheres and not adheres. And to me, not adheres isn't something you could lay.
Okay. This refers back to the standard descriptive characteristics of lay on the table. Number 2. I'm going to read this off because I know you're plastered.
I am drunk as hell.
2 can be applied to main motions with any other subsidiary motions that may be pending, can be thus applied to orders of the day or questions of privilege while they are actually pending as main motions, and such as an application as independent of and does not carry to the table any other matter in which they may have interrupted. See, this is why they got to rewrite this crap. This is a word salad. And it can be separately applied to debatable appeals that do not adhere to the main question, or to non-adhering points of order referred to by the chair of the judgment assembly that are debatable so when so referred. And its application has no effect on the status of any other questions that may be pending, can be applied to adhering appeals where debatable or undebatable only by laying the main question on the table, into which the appeal and other adhering motions go to the table also. Okay, so that's the key point, is that you need to lay the main motion on the table, not the appeal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
one that doesn't adhere. Okay, I am sending JJ just in case. We can always refuse. But I'm sending him the link if he ever wants to call
JJ,
in.
you got my phone number. Call.
Plus, I sent him the link to the stream.
Yeah.
But I know he doesn't have good headset and stuff. But I sent it to him anyway because we could always hit decline.
You got my phone number, JJ. Call. We'll put you in.
All right. So now who's asking? No, it's
Hold
you.
on. I wasn't finished reading.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna drink some rum. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Don't shit on my bed.
It cannot be applied to an undebatable appeal that does not adhere to the main question, and it cannot be applied in a subsidiary motion except in connection with application to the main question.
Right. Has said here.
Okay, now there's one other reference here. I'm going to look real
Oh,
fast.
my boobs are itchy.
That's Wayne scratching.
I feel like I got something down here.
Oh, yeah, it's called cleavage.
No, I feel like something dropped.
Humidity?
Oh, I'm itchy.
Did I just say that in my public voice?
You did. You said that out loud.
Yes, I did. Okay, standard characteristics of appeals. When a debatable appeal does not adhere to pending questions, that is, when a question on it would in no way affect pending questions, such a debatable appeal can have any of the subsidiary motions applied to it except postpone indefinitely and amend. But when it adheres to a pending question, the subsidiary motions cannot be applied to the appeal alone, which subsidiary would include lay on the table, I believe. And it goes from there. Like life.
Now, yeah, here we go. Smoke weed every day.
There's a counter to your Thug Life glasses. What that is? Hug Life.
Oh, I'm just going to continue to wear these. Snoop Dogg.
Except he doesn't with weed. So, okay. Yeah, actually, I understand what JJ was saying here, and I hadn't thought from that perspective about undebatable means you bring it directly to a vote. And frankly, I should have thought of it that way. So, yeah, I get what he's saying. It makes sense. The only question was whether it doesn't adhere to an immediately pending main or whether it does.
But if it adheres, then it makes sense to lay on the table because it would go with it. But if it doesn't adhere, I would have ended up guessing after.
Yeah.
What was
that? Sounded like a hose bib.
I don't know what that was, but we'll ignore that. Okay.
Anyway, okay, I get it.
Here you go.
For cheating.
I didn't cheat. I'm too drunk to cheat at this point, and you know it. I'm about to pass out.
Are your eyes crossed?
They're getting there.
Let's see. Not quite.
Okay, I can cross one eye. Watch.
Which one? No.
Yo, hold on. Look.
No.
It is crossing one.
They're both going that way.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. They're both going that way.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking here.
Now that's leaning in. That one's straight, yes. Before we had them both going the same direction.
I can cross one eye.
Okay, so that means you're related to Bubba J. Got it.
I can only do this one, though. I can't cross just this one.
Yeah.
I can cross
That's
just
Bubba
this
J.
one.
He can only cross the left one, too. Okay. Speaking of postponing stuff.
Okay.
Postpone indefinitely remains with the... Jesus Christ.
Oh, no.
Postpone indefinitely remains with the main motion when the main motion, A, is laid on the table, B, is referred to a committee, C, is reconsidered, or D, all the above.
Okay, it is when it's laid on the table. It is not when it was referred to committee. What was C?
Is reconsidered.
A.
It is A. We just talked about this. That's why I'm going. That's why I said Jesus H Christ. We literally just said this.
We didn't talk about committees, though.
No, but the rest. That's why I said to you because the answer was in front of us. We just had that.
Look, I'm kicking your ass now.
Yes, I am. See, you need to get drunk more often on these things.
I do. Boom, checka, wow, wow.
See, there's ways to do better with. There's ways to do better with you're dealing with being drunk. Parliamentary procedure and reading Shakespeare.
But what happens, and you'll attest to this, immediately after these shows, I'm like, I gotta go to bed, and I immediately run upstairs and leave Mike down with Wayne, and I'm.
Anyway, next question.
Well, it's also because I eat, and I've got the intestinal problems, and I always have to sleep after I eat.
We need to just get you cloned with a body that doesn't have these problems.
Oh God, my body's got lots of problems.
And then
All right.
Then we'll just translate. Then we'll just do a transfer of the brain, and we'll be fine.
You know what we did yesterday, by the way? I need to post the pictures. We went up to that quarry. Are you going to go with it? You don't like hiking, do you?
I don't mind it.
You don't like camping.
You're right.
Well, we're going to do an LPCO hike.
To go pick up her book.
Up to this quartz quarry. It is so pretty. But I had like those huge intestinal pains, but we did the hike anyway, but it was fantastic. Let me get my thing.
That's what she said.
So does Lydia hike?
That's what she said.
Not much, because of her ankles.
What about your son?
He does, but only when he needs to.
It's not that long of a hike. It's about a mile.
You can handle that.
Yeah, it is so...
Considering once he hiked 2 miles to the grocery store to get some stuff and then hiked back hauling a couple of coolers.
It's so pretty.
And then he was pissed about it, and I said, well, you do have Uber. He's like, oh.
It is so pretty.
Totally forgot about it.
Really so pretty. So, it was a nice hike. And Wayne, are we going camping this week? I think we are.
Are you out of Vaseline?
Well, I'm, I have a job interview tomorrow, so I might have a job soon, so we want to go camping. All right.
I sincerely hope that you nail the interview and get the job.
I hope so. All right. Are you ready?
Okay.
When the assigned time for taking up a topic and an agenda arrives,
Okay.
the chair announces that fact.
Okay.
God, there's so many typos in these things.
I know.
Then
You have to correct them as you go.
Yeah. Then he puts to a vote any pending questions without allowing further debate unless A, Someone immediately moves to amend by substitution.
Wait. Rewind and start fresh, because I lost something in the translation there.
Okay, there's an agenda.
Right.
And the assigned time,
Okay.
which kind of effectively makes it a special order.
Okay.
For taking up a topic in an agenda
Special
arrives.
order for an order of business at a specific time.
And it arrives.
Yeah.
The chair announces that fact.
Okay.
Then he puts to a vote any pending questions without allowing further debate unless
Okay. I'm with
A.
you.
Someone immediately moves to amend by substitution. B. They are debatable questions. C. The debate relates to an urgent matter. D. Someone immediately moves to lay the question on the table.
That one.
It is. Yes.
Because there's only two ways to get around that: lay on the table or move to suspend.
gonna
Or
put
move to
this for
suspend the
you.
rules. Thank you.
Whoops, maybe. If you do doubt that I'm drunk.
See,
See-
she's never seen me drunk.
Mike can take advantage of me right now. You guys see me drunk all the time.
You know. No, the reason I say
We need to get you drunk.
you need a pool table for that.
Do you want to go play pool? Do you like pool?
You ever seen me play? You've never seen me play pool drunk.
Do you like pool?
I become Minnesota Fats when I'm drunk.
Do you
playing
like pool?
Yes, I like
Wayne
pool.
and I love pool.
Yes, I like playing pool.
Do you like bowling?
Yes.
I do bumpers.
However, I have to get my bowling ball re-drilled. My thumb,
Okay.
the thumb hole is too narrow.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
I use bumpers, though, by the way.
So that's okay. Lydia doesn't bowl at all. She can't. She
Would she like it with bumpers? Because I use
no,
bumpers.
she still missed. She still puts the ball in the gutter.
You can't with bumpers.
She does it in the other lane.
I use bumpers because I don't give a fuck.
Actually, to be fair, I have not been bowling in a long time.
When do you want to go bowling?
Since I haven't.
Let's go play pool and bowling.
Well, the reason I haven't been bowling lately is because I had those hip injuries.
Call Don. Call Wayne.
I don't know. Why not?
I don't know who Don is. Call Wayne. Don Carter.
yeah,
Call
right.
Wayne. Call Wayne.
Well, I haven't been bowling since I had that hip injury. I don't even know how I can handle it anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, but I've got. Well, let's call Wayne. I got a pink bowling ball.
Why am I not? I don't have a tie-dye one.
Well, that might be a Christmas present. Call Wayne.
It's a green. I have a green one.
Let's call Wayne. Okay.
It's actually a nice emerald green.
What do you want now?
Okay, what I want is I just found out that Mike likes pool and bowling.
Okay.
When are we gonna go?
Whenever you guys set it up.
When are we gonna camp? Okay, let's plan camping and bowling.
Not together.
One question at a time.
Well, I'm just telling you, and we'll talk about it later, but let's plan camping and bowling.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
You can do that.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
That's one of those to-do lists. I gotta get the thumb hole
Okay, at Goodwill.
re-drilled on my bowling ball because my thumb got too thick for the
Yeah.
hole.
Will you not use one from the alley?
No, I have my own.
Yeah, but if you don't have it drilled in time.
I just gotta take it to one in Town Springs and get it done.
Okay, I have a purple bowling ball
Okay.
that my mom bought me, but I found a pink one.
How heavy is it?
8 pounds,
Oh, is
because
that?
I'm weak.
Oh,
I've got a 10-pound pink one,
I got a 12-pounder, I think.
but I've got a 10-pound pink one. So if will Lydia go?
No, she doesn't like bowling.
But will she
sucks
go
at it.
anyway?
She might go anyway,
Okay.
but she sucks at it.
What about your son? Oh, is it, or
He's
he's
never been
back in school?
He might be back in school he's coming back. He'll be back on campus in late August.
Oh, no, we're going to do
But-
this before I get a job.
but
But you
he,
won't go camping, will you?
No,
How come?
I don't camp.
But what about rhinoing?
What the hell's that?
Okay, a rhino is a side-by-side ATV
Okay.
where one of you can drive. Like you could take Lydia up on trails. It's so much fun.
I wreck ATVs.
Well,
I know. I have a long history of wrecking
Okay.
ATVs. I won't do that.
it's not an ATV. It's a UTV.
Yeah,
It's like a mini Jeep.
maybe.
It's that what Wayne was winching on that video we watched.
with me, you probably
Okay.
have to get out of the tree.
Wait, hold on. Which video was it?
I don't remember.
Okay, it wasn't. This isn't trash because I deleted it. No, that's
Oh.
not it. That's not it.
No, that's a bad.
That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not
You're getting
it.
closer. Try the
Yeah.
next one. That's
Okay.
it. That's it.
Okay, I want to put that back, and we're going to show this on the stream here a second. It's not a really good video. So, which one was it? Was it this one? Oh my god, I'm such a loser. Okay, this isn't helping.
You're only funding a stage play of 12 Angry Men up from what?
Okay.
Okay, whatever.
We're on desktop.
It was the 641 one, I think.
No, downloads.
Documents. There it is.
Okay, we're going to play this. I don't think that's showing. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so this is a
Be careful,
UTV,
don't
so
let
you
that
can see
rock
it side
fall
by
on you. You
side.
cracked
It's like
it
a
right
mini
in half.
Jeep.
Yeah, my neighbor
So-
has one of those too.
So would you do this? Oh, kind of move
That
forward.
one right there.
So we're stuck here,
But it's like cracked right in half.
and we cracked a rock in half. But I'm trying to show where he's
No.
winching it up.
Nope, I was
Yeah,
watching.
here you go. Let's play it.
Maybe that's just a really brittle rock. You cracked that rock though, be careful.
So Wayne's now
was about to
winching
fall.
it up because we
Yeah,
got
you're gonna
stuck.
crack
Would you
that
do
one
this?
now.
Not winching, but
That's winching, not wenching.
but driving the ATV. He just
Okay.
got it out of the.
as long as it's not a manual transmission.
So it's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm not gonna like pressure you guys or anything.
I'd have to get used to something like that first.
Okay. All right. So who's asking who now?
We're still on.
Oh, you're doing that.
No, actually, this is the 16th of May. This is like. Wait a minute.
No, we're in the right spot.
We are?
What's that noise?
What the hell is that?
You hear it?
I hear it too.
I don't have anything set. Okay, I quit this. I did. Why is it? Hold on.
It's not.
Yeah, that's
It's not-
me. Quit?
Oh, it's still playing. That's what.
No. It stopped now. No, why is it still
That's
playing?
the 15th. Okay.
Let me quit this. Let me do. Yeah, it's still playing. Force quit. It stopped now. Okay, we're good now.
Okay. Yeah, I actually got that one right.
And I put it up.
Right. That's what.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's now me, you.
Yeah. You're asking. No, I got this right. So I'm asking you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I'm way too drunk.
Yeah. Oh, no.
If anyone wants to come to Colorado and camp with us, Wayne and I love camping.
Bring Vaseline.
And we sometimes go to the really high country when you go to the spot where you're above the tree line
Yeah.
and in the clouds. There's nothing better than that.
Or as we in the southern part of the state call it, Woodland Park.
No, I'm talking. There are weird creatures up there. Now, Wayne laughs at me because I call them marmots, which is like.
Marmot. It's a marmot varmint.
Yeah, they're not that though, because that's actually like water rats, and there's no water up there.
Actually, no. There is a land creature called a marmot.
Oh no, maybe I'm calling it something. What? No, I call them nutrias,
Okay.
which is in Louisiana, which are water rats. So they're marmots, is what they're actually called.
Yeah.
But every time we see them, I go, look, a nutria.
Marmots.
Do you know what? You don't know what a nutria is.
No,
though,
but I
'cause
know
you're-
but I know what a marmot is.
No, a nutria is a water rat.
Because marmots, they exist in altitude in the mountains.
Yeah.
In
no.
Yellowstone, there's loaded with them, especially because they love to set up shop, nest underneath the boardwalks like Old Faithful. They're
No,
all
I
over.
was thinking of the real name, but a nutria. Like you don't know those unless you're
It's
in.
like a freaking beaver.
Yeah, these are in the South. They are nasty creatures.
Oh, it's like a beaver. That's
Yeah.
what she said. That's from Henry Dorley
Yeah.
in Omaha, for God's sake.
So every time we go up there, I drive Wayne crazy because I'm like, look, a nutria, and he's like, no, it's a marmot.
17th is a Sunday.
Oh,
Oh, wait, but...
Wayne,
What?
when are we gonna go up see some nutrias?
I don't know where the trees are. We can make a trip up to the mountains.
The trees are water rats, man. They look like beavers.
I want to go up above the cloud, the in the clouds again.
Hang on, I can't hear you.
Wayne,
Okay.
all you gotta do is bring her down to my area, and we'll take the cog up to the top of Pikes Peak. Then you can relax.
We haven't
and
done
wait.
that yet.
I haven't done it since they've reopened it.
Come on. We want to go on the the train. I'm super.
The Pikes Peak.
Yeah,
The
no,
Pikes Peak?
no, you can't turn that off. I'm super drunk.
It's really.
I haven't been on since I
It's
reopened
really
it.
fucking hot here. Get the heater right on you.
So what can we say? She's getting toasted in more ways than one.
Yeah, I'm super drunk now and I'm hungry.
Well, I'm working on that.
Okay, everyone loves you.
Everybody's in love with me? Is that what you said?
Yeah, they want you to shut the door.
That's just because they don't know me yet.
They want you to shut the door. And you got the flattest of the flat tops.
I do, but you can't tell when I have my head down.
You do. You have the flattest of the flat tops.
It's because I have a great barber.
Well,
But we want to go bowling.
You need to put a pile of Aquanet on there so it gets super stiff. Then you can start scrubbing things with the top of your head.
We want to go bowling, and we want
You're gonna have a
to.
funny look for that.
We want to do pool, and we want to go see the Nutrias.
Okay, the tree is going to require a little bit of additional effort. Mike could possibly get there in his truck if he's a
He
competent.
doesn't want to go camping.
Well, we don't need to go camping to go see the Nutrias. We just need to make a trip up to the mountains.
But he said Lydia doesn't like that.
That's
Doesn't like
that's a rough, nasty road.
Yeah.
Well,
I love it.
not dangerous, but rough and bumpy.
I wouldn't take Marilyn up there unless she'd fit.
She fit.
Yeah, but I think
with
your
her
son.
20-foot wheelbase.
I've been up there with a fucking camper.
Lydia might not like it, but your son, I think, would like it.
He probably has nose.
And they're not
birdness
Nutrias,
phone.
they're months.
Yes, I know what a marmot is.
Nutrias.
She keeps calling Nutrias.
I know what a marmot is. I know what lick the marmot is.
What?
You've never heard of lick the marmot?
Oh my God, that sounds that sounds really porno.
No, it's
All right.
it's the house band in Yellowstone.
Okay, JJ says we're cute. All right, we're gonna get back to our show.
All right, I'm back to cooking.
Thank you.
I'm doing the corn now.
Oh, I dropped the rest of the.
Where you go again?
No, stop that! Oh, and you switched my camera. Oh, how did that happen? We lost our camera. Let's try plugging it back in. Here we go. Oh, we lost our. There we go.
We're with you in a second. I'm just looking at
What,
dates.
what did we lose here?
They got out of order.
This needs to go back in.
What is that one?
I don't know.
What's the date on it?
19th.
Well, that's the one. That's a Sunday. No, it wasn't. Actually, no. That's
It's a Friday, so put that in there under the 18th.
no. Wait a minute. June 18th. Okay, June 18th.
Oh, June. Okay.
Never mind.
Oof.
June 17th, 18th. Okay, now we're back in order.
I think we need to do naked Roberts.
What, I got an OnlyFans account?
Oh my God, JJ, would you do an article on us if we did nude Roberts?
There is a National Nude Day out there.
It's just bodies, but anyway. Some should not be seen, but anyway.
Okay, where the hell are we? Here we go.
I don't know.
Oh, Mount St. Helens Day. Okay,
What?
May 18th.
What day?
Mount St. Helens Day.
Oh. Can you imagine? I mean, I know we lived through that, but we weren't up in Washington.
No, I was in Indiana at the time.
But wasn't Mount St. Helens in Washington?
Yes,
I can't
still
even.
is too. What's left of it.
I can't even imagine that.
I studied it rather extensively back in the day, and I was actually up there on a vacation in '87. And even 7 years after the fact, the place was still just totally devastated. And it was weird because
JJ is helping us with our nude Roberts.
it's weird because to get up there, you go off off I-5, and you're taking this logging road on the south side of the mountain.
Of mountains?
Of the mountain.
Of Helens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're into all this forest area because everything blew out to the north. You're coming around to the east side, and you come on, then you make a left turn to go towards the mountain, and you're still in all this forest, and the road is paved with one lane with pullouts for people to get through. We get to about a mile from the place up there called Windy Ridge, which at the time was the closest you could get to the mountain. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, you're just going from this massive green forest, parting like a curtain, into all this gray devastation. It was incredible.
I just can't even imagine.
Oh, we were shocked. We're like, what is this? All of a sudden, boom, it's like, holy cow.
You want to know what it reminds me of on a much smaller scale? You weren't, obviously, you never lived in Florida, but after Hurricane Andrew, it's my ex-husband, but he was glued to the screen just watching the devastation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there were communities, there was a country walk that was just laid bare. And we went I think it was 4 years later, down to the Metro Zoo, which is in Homestead, which we joke in Florida, which means you wish you were home instead, where there were still claim numbers spray painted on the walls of buildings.
I can believe it.
It just going there was so emotional.
The Hurricane Andrew, some of the footage we saw was one of the reasons that we chose the manufacturer for our house of who it was, because theirs actually got through the hurricane without much damage.
Yeah, no, I lived there.
Which seemed weird, but it was like, okay.
I lived in Florida during Andrew.
Our theory was they can handle a hurricane, they can handle almost anything. But, but the thing with St. Helens, that's 7 years later, and you get up to the spot, and you can look, and you have a line almost...
Yeah, Jonestown flood.
Jonestown, yeah.
Oh, that was horrible,
but
too.
You can literally see almost into the crater from that angle. When you see the lava dome buildings, you look off to your right, and you see what's left of Spirit Lake there, which is raised up in height and called clog with all this ash and down trees. And the whole area is just, it looked like the place had been nuked.
I just can't even imagine.
You can't until you see it.
I mean,
because you went from this green lush to this dead devastation, just like that. And it's just like, wow. When we come back, we're like, okay, that was worth it.
Living through Andrew, I was in Palm Beach County, which is 2 counties up, and I worked at Service Merchandise at the time, which is really dating me.
I miss those guys.
I was office manager.
They had good stuff in that store.
I love Service, and I was office manager there, but I was 2 counties up, so we had a little bit of power outage and stuff, but nothing like Miami-Dade. And so I worked in Boca Raton, Service Merchandise, and 2 days after Andrew, all of a sudden the refugees started coming up, looking just for D batteries.
Oh, jeez.
Desperate for batteries. I mean, you just can't even imagine. Anyway, I don't even know how we got into the subject.
We were detouring. Oh, because it's Mount St. Helens Day. We went off on a segue.
But
this is the May 18th reading.
The way things can just change overnight.
I know, it's crazy.
Is amazing. All right, question.
Okay. When the assembly further considers a question after it has been considered informally, here we go again.
Oh my God, I'm too drunk for this. So wait, stop. Start again.
Okay. When the assembly further considers a question after it has been considered informal.
Was it voted on informally?
It doesn't say one way or the other here. A member who spoke during informal consideration can no longer debate. B, all limitation of debate is expended. C, a member's speeches made under these procedures do not count against their right to debate on the same day under the regular rules. And D, a member's right to debate the same question is based on the number of times he debated during the informal consideration.
C.
It is C.
Yeah, all the other 3 were the same thing.
Well, yeah.
A, B, and D were the same thing.
Just differently worded.
Yeah.
And again, it makes sense because the informal consideration, as we said earlier, the limitations on how long you debate are waived.
Yeah,
so they
it's
can't
kind of like a different universe.
Yeah, they can't apply.
Okay, but the reason I decided the way I did is because A, B, and D were basically saying the same thing in different ways.
Yeah. They're stuck together there. Here you go.
Oh my God, death is here. We always have to raise a glass to death.
Death!
You haven't been in my streams for a while, Death.
Sorry, I was having a Grandpa Simpson moment there. Death!
Yeah. You haven't been for a while.
Careful, you're going to make a mess here. You don't behave yourself.
Oh my God.
That's what she said.
All right, so I'm asking you now. I'm super drunk.
You are.
Oh my God, I'm too drunk.
Yes, you are.
And look how much rum I have left.
Look how much you're kicking my ass. So.
That needs to be a screenshot. And Wayne kept turning off. Yeah, Wayne kept turning off the heater. I have heaters in every room,
Wayne,
just so you know.
Turn on the heat!
So it's me now?
Yes.
To ask you.
Yes.
God, I gotta pee. I've been taking Peter Canona's advice and moved away from the city.
Good.
I wish I could move away from the city. I want to live in the mountains so bad. It's not.
I thought you wanted to have an apartment downtown somewhere.
No, I want both. I love downtown for a limited period of time, but I also love the city.
About 5 minutes.
Let me tell you why I love downtown. I love history. and the 4 square buildings and the Queen Anne buildings and the Victorian. Oh, speaking of Victorian, I want to tell you something.
Uh-oh.
Okay, you might not love history as much as I do.
It depends on what the history is.
I love all history. Do you know why, what do you call them, crown molding was originally invented?
I always thought it was invented to help hide cracks in the ceiling at the edge of the walls where things settled.
That could be, but that's not the reason I learned. There used to be, so you had crown molding, and then you had, you know how there's chair rails, like we have in our office?
Yeah.
Well, there was an additional little strip of wood right underneath the crown molding. Sometimes it could be a foot below. And you want to know what that was for?
We're hanging stuff.
Yes. Because you had plaster walls.
And you use the wood to put your nails, and then your pictures
and you'd have
down
rope
from cables or rope.
Right.
Yes.
Wayne didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Didn't
Isn't
know
that awesome?
Yeah. You know where I first saw that?
Where?
Monticello.
Oh, I want.
Of all
Okay,
places.
let me tell you a
And
bucket.
Montpelier has it too.
Let me tell you a bucket list I have.
To be fair, Mount Vernon might have. I don't remember.
Bucket list I have is to own a Victorian home.
I can understand why.
I want to own a Victorian home so bad, and in my retirement, I want to do a bed and breakfast Victorian home.
Just make sure it has a dumbwaiter and it has a good full basement and a root cellar.
You know, I want everything.
And a tower room.
And
you got to have the tower room for the library.
In my Victorian home as a bed and breakfast, in my retirement, I want to do authentic Victorian, have a Victorian kitchen, and I want to, as host, dress and act in a Victorian way.
Don't do the hoop skirt. You won't fit through the doorways.
Well, a hoop skirt isn't Victorian.
It can be.
No, a bustle is Victorian.
Yeah, bustles are different though. Lydia used to do fashions in time.
Yeah, hoop skirt is pre-Victorian. Victorian is bustle, though bustle is even more Edwardian. But anyway, we right before COVID, by the way, Wayne and I went up to, I can't think of the name of the town. What's the name of the town that starts with FL? Not Florentine.
Near where?
Fountain. I don't know. We went someplace. We went someplace in Colorado, and we were considering buying
Florence
an Airbnb in Colorado, but then COVID hit.
Oh, Florence?
And we couldn't do it. It might have been, but we were going to do that to move. Might have been Fountain. I can't remember.
There's no B&Bs that old in Fountain. Trust me.
They were in the 1800s, and it also had
ain't that old.
and it also had a big tract of land that had enough room to build a caretaker's mini house, micro house, whatever you call it, and it also had an 1880s cabin on it, and also enough room for people to park RVs with hookups.
I think that was Florence. I remember you talking about that.
It might have been that. Yeah. I wish we had been able to do that.
I think that was Florence. You were talking about
that. It was like a 9-bedroom Airbnb.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I think it was down in Florence, but yeah.
My dream is to own...
Which is the antique capital of the state, but yeah.
My dream is to own a Victorian home.
We almost bought a 1914, I think, Victorian style one in Byers years ago.
No, and it had all the furnishings.
Because at the time we were looking at that as a possibility of moving from where we're at now to out there, so I would commute into Aurora for work.
See, I keep trying to go into business with you. You and Lydia should help us. We should go into business together, doing an Airbnb of a Victorian home.
Oh God.
and even though they updated,
I know one in Canyon City that's haunted.
They updated all the wiring, but it still had in place as an auxiliary the tube, where the weird switches, the old Victorian switches. It was so cool. I can't even tell you. It didn't have gas lighting, by the way, Sunquap said. Yeah. But my dream is to own a Victorian home.
You've never seen Montpelier or Monticello, have you?
Mm-mm.
You should go check them out someday.
I love
Monticello. You will go, dude.
Okay. So whose question is it?
You're
anyway,
asking me.
You and I eventually are going to go into business together. No, didn't I just ask you about... Hold on. No, this is you.
No, I just asked you about informal debate. Informal question, remember? We just talked about that one, about the speech.
Oh, okay, so this is me.
You're asking me.
All right. Are you all ready?
No, I'm partially ready, but that's okay.
Okay. If a
I'm
speaker...
partially greeny, but I am.
Ooh, this
and
is...
bluey and yellowy and orangey.
I know the answer to this, but I don't know if you know the answer to this. And I'm going to have to go pee soon. We're on Tuesday.
I can't answer that one.
I'm way drunk right now. Okay. If a speaker consents to an interruption for a request for information.
Okay.
A. The time consumed will be taken out of the speaker's allotted time.
Ooh, this is tricky.
B. The inquiry and reply are made in the first person. C. The presiding officer always remains silent. D. The time consumed will not be taken out of the speaker's allotted time. So A and D are mutually exclusive.
Right. And C was the
presiding officer always remains silent.
And B was that the question can be asked directly.
The inquiry and reply are made in the first person.
Right, that's direct. Yeah, versus through the chair. So actually, B and C are opposite of each other too.
Yeah, and I'm so drunk right now. I'm about to pass out.
Don't worry, I'll get you upstairs. I'll just throw you over my shoulder.
Oops.
I'm having visions of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington running through my head at the moment. Because it relates to this question. B could be right, but I don't think so.
I need to go to sleep.
And what was A again? The time doesn't count, and B the time, and D.
Yeah, A is the time consumed will be taken out of the speaker's allotted time, and D, the time consumed will not be taken out of the speaker's allotted time.
I'm gonna go with D.
It's A.
It is A.
Yeah. So if you're speaking and someone says request for information from you,
yeah,
it will be taken out of your time.
So they can filibuster you in the silence.
Yes, you could always decline the request for information. But I'm going to give this to you to read.
That's fucked up.
Because I am way too fucking drunk for this right now.
See, right there, we just exposed an abuse of the rules.
But you could always avoid it by saying, nah.
Yeah.
So.
Is this the 19th? Yeah. And what'd you put June 19th on the top there?
I don't know. No, this is the 18th.
Tuesday 19th. Right?
Right?
No,
this
June
is
19th.
June.
Right,
okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm way too fucking drunk.
All right, let me read this thing off. Section 33, which is probably under request for information.
I gotta pee.
Well, go.
No, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna hold it.
Then you can't hold.
I'm gonna hold it and see how long I can hold it.
295. Under not withdraw motion. Okay, here it is. Request for information. Request for information, also called a point of information, is a request directed to the chair or through the chair to another officer or member for information relevant to the business in hand, but not related to parliamentary procedure. It's treated like a parliamentary inquiry as follows, blah, 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 blah. If information is desired of a member who is speaking, the inquirer, upon rising, may use the following form instead, blah, blah, blah. If the speaker consents to the interruption, the time consumed will be taken out of his allotted time. Mm-hmm. If the chair therefore asks if the speaker is willing to be interrupted, and if he consents, directs the inquirer to proceed. Although the presiding officer generally remains silent during the ensuing exchange, the inquiry reply and a resulting colloquy.
Colloquy?
Colloquy. I always murder that word.
Yeah, me too. I'm wondering what is right.
Colloquy. Collquy.
I think it's colloquy.
I'll go with that. Anyway, are made in the third person through the chair. That's what we're used to hearing. Yeah. To protect decorum, members are not allowed to carry on discussion directly with one another. So that would eliminate the first person thing. What did I say it was? That one?
Oh, I don't remember what you said it was.
No, I said D.
Right.
Time not taken out. Yeah. An inquiry of this kind may also be for the purpose of reminding a speaker of his point made in argument, or may be intended to rebut his position, but it always must be put in the form of a question. So theoretically, if someone starts using their point of inquiry question, you could turn around and say, point of information to the speaker, and the answer, yes. What's your point?
Yeah, and you can decline. So that is the point. But speaking of, I don't remember what you said, but it reminded me of something that happened during convention. Things got way better on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh yeah, they usually do.
Well, yeah, no, that's true. They do usually
Friday's
do.
all the contentious crazy
Even when
crap.
it's the same presiding officer, Saturday and Sunday are always better.
No, I'm not commenting on what the officer.
I am.
What happens with the business?
At this point, I am, though you are correct. Even if it's the same presiding officer, it gets better.
Yeah.
But on Friday, listening to the minutes or the recording to do the minutes, Whitney allowed so many indecorous motions.
I know.
Aren't even funny. And I cannot believe a former chair moved a resolution to condemn Joshua Smith from running.
And who that was?
I'm not going to say a name. It doesn't matter.
I vaguely remember.
I remember the name, but it really doesn't matter. Like, you don't do that. And I know
that.
I know a lot of people have problems with Aaron Starr.
Yeah.
But Aaron was 100% right so far, and every single point of order he made.
My problem with Aaron isn't that he gets right or wrong on things. It's that he tends to try to be a mic hog.
Well,
and
so do I.
No. You are nothing like what he does.
Don't ask Sam Goldstein that.
Well, let's put it this way. In St. Louis at the 2010 convention, you're spilling again. I was literally, I was sitting on the end of a row, and the microphone was like right here on the side. Aaron was sitting next to me. This is the California delegation.
You never put Aaron or me by a microphone.
That's just the way it wound up. And it seemed like every three seconds it was up, down to the microphone, back again.
You want to know what stopped me?
I felt like I was in a fucking whack-a-mole game.
What stopped me is that I ended up on stage.
Yeah.
With Wilford. But let me tell you, last convention...
I was getting ready to just scoot my chair out enough so he couldn't get past me, so he could sit down and just shut the fuck up.
Last convention, here are the rules learned. Don't allow me, Aaron Starr, or Holly Ward near a microphone.
I don't know Holly Ward.
She's the chair of Virginia.
Was she the one having the meltdowns over the ballot counts?
She was having a meltdown over a million things, but this isn't a criticism of her, because I would have done the... If I weren't up on stage, I would have been speaking more than Holly. So this isn't a criticism. I am way too fucking drunk. A criticism of Holly. All right, who's next?
Well, I'm asking the question next, but you spilled wine all over it.
Okay, you can lick it. It's not wine, it's rum.
Actually, it's the backside, but still. Okay, let's get this piece of crap out of the way, because it was blocking the question.
I'm way too drunk.
Are you going to the bathroom or not?
Oh, who cares?
You should.
No, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Look what JJ said. It's a challenge.
Holding your urine is a mark of a good parliamentarian. No, it just means you have a good bladder.
Did I just play footsie with you?
Yes, you're playing footsie with me under the table. You're the one with no shoes on, so...
No, I don't have any shoes on, but I got some nice toenail polish on. Somebody has a foot fetish?
Not me. Anyway.
You want to know what I learned evolutionarily?
Yeah.
With men.
Yes.
The sexual arousal part of the brain is right next to like the foot recognition part. And that's why so many men...
Objection, speculative.
That's why so many men have a foot fetish. It's because a wire crossed.
Okay.
So it makes a lot of...
I don't have a foot fetish.
It makes a lot of evolutionary sense.
I don't have a foot fetish.
Women don't get foot fetishes, but there's something in the male brain where they're right next to each other.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. A rule relating to parliamentary procedure requires...
Okay.
A, 2/3 for amendment.
Yes.
B, 2/3 for suspension.
Yes.
C, majority of... What? A typo. A majority of the members present and voting for its suspension.
No.
It says a majority for the members. Oh, that's wrong. D, a previous notice and 2/3 for suspension.
God, that seems right too. Go ahead. Go start again.
Okay. A rule relating to parliamentary procedure requires.
So a special rule of order, not a standing.
No help from the parliamentarians in the audience, please.
Not a standing rule.
It
A
just
special
says, it just
rule,
says a rule relating to procedure.
which is a special rule.
Okay. A. 2/3 vote for amendment.
Typically, yes.
B. 2/3 for suspension.
Typically, yes.
A majority vote. It says for the members.
Oh, I'm sorry, I went on your foot
You're
again.
playing footsie again.
Yeah, I thought that was my desk. I didn't mean to be like, sorry, Lydia.
Oh, so you don't care. Anyway, a majority vote for the members present. That's got to be of the members present.
Yeah.
Damn typos. A majority vote of the members present and voting for suspension.
No.
Previous notice and 2/3 vote for suspension.
No. B.
You're going with B.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, because it is B.
Yes. B.
Why do you think it's not A?
What was A again?
2/3 vote for amendment.
It's a majority for amendment.
Yeah. Wait.
Because I'm thinking of the
I know,
policy
we
manual.
know it's 2/3 for suspension.
Yeah. I knew B was absolutely correct.
If there's
and-
one thing we've known for all these years, is 2/3 is suspended.
Yeah. So when it's a special rule of order, not a standing rule.
Right.
A special rule of order has to do with parliamentary. I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Parliament. Whatever.
Parliamentary.
Yes, that procedure. It requires 2/3.
Yes.
Did you? Oh, you gave it to me. Okay.
That's what she
I
said.
can't explain it, but I knew it. Exactly.
Because they gave it to her.
And I don't know who. Matt Carter. I think that's a new person. Okay, I'm going to tell everyone now. Please subscribe. I don't care. Okay, subscribe to 2 channels. You might be on Pink Flame of Liberty right now. Please subscribe. Because I'm stalled at a certain number of subscribers. And if you're on Cult of RONR, please subscribe. Because we need 1,000. Mm-hmm. If you're on either, subscribe to the other. And I'm drunk right now. So I need more rum. If you're on Pink Flame of Liberty, please give us super chat.
We need beer and pizza money.
We need beer and pizza money. And JJ says majority of entire membership for amendment.
Right. And this thing I think said majority for suspension. Yeah, so that would
Yeah,
apply. Yeah.
it's not. Nope.
Okay, here you go.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I'll be able to read it because I've drinking. Is that a word?
It is now.
Drank. I've
been drinking.
I drank a lot of rum right now.
Okay, how many fingers do you see?
5.
No, it's only 4. That's a thumb.
A thumb is a finger.
No, it's not.
All right, let's go. I was going to get super filthy there. Oh, God. I'm going to hyperventilate because this reminds me of convention.
Uh-oh.
Okay, let me tell you something. They're not voting cards. They're delegate management tools.
In a way, I can sort of understand that, but no.
I was like, thank you, Orwell. Oh.
That's not even Orwellian. That's just bad euphemisms.
Oh, my God. That just triggers so much in me. Anyway, we're going to go to there. We're going to go there.
Yeah.
When an assembly uses voting cards,
Okay.
A, the procedure must be in the bylaws. B, the voters' cards may never be used for a call division. For division. I'm sorry, I'm
Or
drunk.
a call of division.
Yes. C. Oh my God, this is just weird. The authorization of the use of voters' cards depends on expected conditions in the meeting. I know. I don't know what that means.
That is delightfully vague. What's D?
D. The voters' cards must never be in a dark color. That's racist.
Okay, D is irrelevant.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah, D doesn't make any sense. B is what again?
The voters' cards
Yes.
may never be used for a call for division.
Call of division. Nah. I don't believe that one either.
A.
A was...
The procedure must be in the bylaws.
No, it doesn't have to be in the bylaws.
C. The authorization of the use of voter cards depends on expected conditions in the meeting.
Authorization of the use of the cards is what?
Okay. Even if you win, I'm just unilaterally saying...
That's shitty.
Yeah, even if you win, we'll still give you the point. I'm just saying.
Read C off one more time.
This is a horrible...
And bring your octave up enough to sound like a hoity-toity librarian.
Blah, blah, blah. The authorization...
That tone.
The authorization of the use of voters' cards depends upon accepted conditions in the meeting.
As bizarre as it may sound, okay, A was what?
Must be in the bylaws.
No. B.
May never be used for a call for division.
I really don't think so on that one. D.
The voters' cards must always be in a dark color.
By elimination, I'm going C.
You are correct, and it makes no fucking sense to me.
I know, it doesn't. So let's find out what the citation is on this one.
I'm going to give you this.
That's what she said.
Yes, and we're going to give you the point, even though it was a shitty question.
That was a really weird question.
I would not have gotten that.
I only got it because of elimination.
Oh, I'm
because
burping.
it seems to me that, logically speaking, if you...
Oh, I think I'm going to throw up. I'm super drunk right now. No. Okay, give me that.
No. Logically speaking, though...
JJ, would you have gotten that? That's what I want to know. JJ, would you have gotten that? You know, I actually really like this jean jacket. And the zippers are not fake.
No, those are real. Just you can actually probably helps you get in and out of them too because
it does because look how thin they like.
Well, I was saying the narrowness of the wrist versus your hand.
It's super narrow.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Versus your hand.
This is Macy's
okay.
INC, which is a brand I really like.
Okay, voting cards. Some organizations like to use a brightly colored cardboard card.
Yeah, that's too bad. So sad.
Approximately 3 inches wide and a foot long.
Oh, that's... Whoops.
No, you look like an idiot.
Oh, that's the wrong one. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
In voting on most or all occasions by raising it when asked to do so by the chair. Why am I having pictures of the red and green dildos? Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna drink directly from the bottle.
See, she's taking a. See, she's what's the term here?
I'm a slush or a slosh.
Actually, I was saying you're optimizing you're making more actions more efficient.
Exactly.
Except for what's left in the glass.
Oh, I'll drink that.
You got to finish that off first. Yes. There you go. And Wayne wonders what was going on in Louisville before he got there.
Oh, I'm super drunk now.
Okay, anyway.
I'm going to fall down. I'm about to lay in your lap.
Ooh, baby. The authorization of the
Lydia, you better get down.
The authorization of the use of these devices in voting, however, depends on expected conditions in the meeting. If the voters' cards, that's in quotes, have been distributed to voters in advance, and the chair or a member thinks a simple division vote as described on blah blah is called for, the chair may say, as many as are in favor of the motion, raise your voters' cards, down. Those opposed, raise your voters' cards, down. Down, boy, down, heel. If a count is desired, however, the chair or the assembly must authorize the count, as in the case of a counted division. If this method of voting is to be used, it must be authorized by a special rule of order or in a convention by a convention standing rule.
Now, I want to say something. Whoops, sorry, didn't mean to rub your knee.
No, I was moving my leg around.
I actually like the voters' cards.
Okay.
But they need a special rule of order.
I take it from this perspective, and this was from me in the Pennsylvania delegation.
I'm going to collapse.
Okay.
Go ahead.
They were using them there just to indicate who the hell was a delegate and who was an alternate.
Well, that was a...
Yeah. It wasn't
I
for the up-down idea. And I thought that was fine, because that helped them keep track of who the hell is who.
I actually think we do need to adopt a special rule of order for those.
Okay.
But I was opposed because there wasn't one already.
Okay.
That was it.
something to think about for our next convention.
Yes.
So
I like them. It wasn't that I was like philosophically opposed to them. I was opposed to Susan unilaterally imposing them.
Yes, John?
Sorry to interrupt the podcast, but food's ready.
Okay.
Oh, good, because I'm like so super drunk right now. So are we going to eat and come back, or are we going to eat and not come back?
That's only 10 after 3. We got plenty of time.
Yeah, we're going to eat and maybe come back,
It
depending
depends on
upon
whether
whether I fall asleep.
Yeah, it depends on whether she passes out or not.
So we're going to go eat, because I am like seeing double right now. I see 2 mics.
No, that's just because I'm overweight.
I see 2 fat mics.
That's better.
And we're going to go, and maybe we'll be back. So thank you, JJ, and everybody else. And we'll see you in a bit.
Hopefully.
Maybe.
Viva! Let's hear the opposition side. Like a stubborn donkey's bray, all opposed. You say nay, opposed! Opposed! The motion carries anyway.